Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lander Center in South Haven, Mississippi, as we get set for NISL Soccer, the rematch of yesterday's doubleheader between the Central Florida Crusaders and the Memphis Americans. I'm Jeff Bryant alongside Tim Van Horn. A couple of matches yesterday, Tim, pretty tight, but vastly different types of matches. First place, Central Florida then, they remain undefeated at 12-0-0. 3 goals just over the last 3 minutes of the run of time, including the overtime goal, to remain undefeated. Meanwhile, very low-scoring affair. Memphis trailed in the women's match most of the game, and Atlanta Toronto got her first goal of the season, a newcomer to the Americans, and Memphis pulls it out of the end. Just a 2-1 score in a game, to use just the phrase, kind of a stagnant game where the teams have played a lot of possession in the middle of the field, and neither one forced the issue. So women try to stay in first place today,
he scores!
and then try to get a win against the team
Before the
they're going to be the number one.
Memphis is going to take this
the outdoor score, I thought,
in
okay, should they go down the road and play this at one of the outdoor fields, because that was definitely an outdoor score. But, yeah, that was a nip-and-tuck game. And then the men's game, and I think that shows some of the resiliency and how great this Central Florida team is, because Memphis had their foot on the neck of Central Florida, of the Crusaders, but they didn't push down, finish the job, and Crusaders came roaring back with a big finish for them. Disappointing for Corey Adamson. I know they're going to want to turn it around here in this opening of the doubleheader, as we are just a few minutes away. But it is, as we look at the lineups for this afternoon, Matthew Klink's the deputy for Peter Sliwa, will get the start in goal for the Americans. We see Endon Zacco, Corey Adamson, Mike Scharf, and also for the Memphis Americans, Maxi Galizzi will be out there amongst the starting bunch this afternoon. So Memphis and Central Florida, and Central Florida wants to stay unblemished against these Memphis Americans.
Well, as we said, Central Florida is going to end up being regular season champion. They're going to get the number 1 seed in the NISL playoffs once they announce the location. They get ready to get underway. The solace is you'll have maybe a little confidence, especially if you're able to get a win over Central Florida today. But even if you don't, that Memphis has played the Crusaders closer than anyone else. It's been 2 1-goal losses going back to February 5th. That was a 9-8 loss down in Orlando, then the 1-goal overtime loss here last night. We'll see what they can do today. They played Central Florida as close as anyone in the league.
Does that come down to a mental thing, you think, at some point, if you continue to win by
the first kick? How about a big round of applause for him?
No doubt there's mental strength with Central Florida. Then the question becomes, can the Americans? Do you think that's a factor, or it's just Central Florida is just that dominant?
Well, it seems last night
Memphis
looked like they may have it in hand late. However, it was Central Florida again, just over 3 minutes remaining in that match. And the run of play lasts 3:37. 2 goals to get the game level. Then going in overtime, they scored a minute 7 into overtime. Almost appeared, at least from up here, that Memphis maybe got just a little bit of tight there with that late lead.
Yeah, could very well have been the case. It's one thing to score goals, but it's another thing when you have to get down to basics and finish the job. And you saw there just a moment ago the in-house entertainment host today, Lynn Neal. They call him the real deal. Hey, you may not know this, Jeff, but he is actually good friends and helped build the first race car for Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Wow.
Little known fact.
All I have heard is that Lynn Neal will provide entertainment as the in-house MC, so it should be an interesting afternoon here at the Landers Center. So Central Florida is going to wear their all blacks trimmed in gold. Memphis, who was in the all reds yesterday, will go with the white tops and the red shorts of their kits here this afternoon. Game got a little physical between these two clubs last night. Nothing malicious, but there were quite a few penalties in the match. As you see right there in the center of your screen, Rafael Tobias, 26 goals, 18 assists, and a hat trick in last night's game. And I mean, you can see his size imposing, and he really kind of dictates everything they do.
So we're getting set, and this is kind of a getaway day in the afternoon. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, you've got Matthew Klink in goal, who has been more than able in Peter Sliwa's stead, getting some experience, because you never know come playoff time when your number may be called up.
Well, we are underway here at the Lander Center, Camargo, and the back turns it over to Endon Zacco. Endon Zacco did not play in last night's ball game, dressed out into the roster here this afternoon. So a quick out of bounds on Central Florida as Endon Zacco quickly off of the field, and so they'll get a quick switch here And this is going to be pretty similar to what Memphis did last night. Corey Adamson scoring in the first 30 seconds of a free kick about 5 feet closer down the line. So we'll see what Corey Adamson. Last night, a couple of kicks from this situation. He just hammered right at the net, so we'll see if they try to go right on net here.
Michael Carson, the near side referee, signals the kick is good.
Yeah, and he hammers it again. That's just going to be off the fingertips again of Leon, who was outstanding with 13 saves in last night's ball game.
And there's something in the water today because one of the fans threw a ball back on the pitch, and then one of the Crusaders had to kick it back off. This is not Wrigley Field. Once it's out, don't throw it back until it's asked for.
They'll go down to the into
you
the
can't
corner.
keep it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just don't throw it back on the field. Adamson against Tobias, and you see the size difference there between the Central Florida forward and Adamson, the head coach, who drew a big penalty last night, drew a major. As Memphis will get a quick switch again.
You got a good look at Tobias last night. I've heard many things. Does he look like he is the real deal to you?
Oh, yeah, he's very, very, very steady. Almost at times kind of runs the point instead of just playing forward and using his physicality, although he can. He, again, has 26 goals, had a hat trick last night. Set some people up very nicely, and here they come again. That's going to be off the boards next to Klink.
I think that was a great pass by Tobias with the outside of his boot to set up the opportunity for Central Florida.
Well, Memphis trying to get something going on a counter, turning, and that shot is stuffed up near the yellow line. They'll wrap it around to Burke, and that one's going to go easily into the hands of Leon. Again, 13 saves. He's undefeated at 8-0-0, 3.59 goals against average, 82 shots, 30 saves. He saves 63.4% of the shots against. Quickly back, Leon wants to move it over to McGinn. McGinn along the near boards. Well, Memphis jumped out 2-0 relatively early in the game last night. Both teams kind of feeling things out a little bit earlier here this afternoon. And we'll see if Memphis is able to take advantage. A little road fatigue a lot of times will set in game number 2 on back-to-back nights.
Memphis not letting Central Florida press, but Central Florida seems to be very content to work it around the neutral zone. Now here's a giveaway.
Memphis works it up. It's going to be Alvarado to the right side, and he'll get ridden off the ball. And Burke will come in trying to help out, but Central Florida, they're going to work the ball again. They'll take possession. Sirazati, who had 5 assists in the game last night, he'll hop off. He'll work his way out back over to Galvis along the left side.
It's good work by Rada to get the ball back for Central Florida. After the turnover in the middle of the pitch, they were very quick to react, and that's one of the keys, whether you're indoor or outdoor or futsal or really any sport, is if you turn it over, the quicker you can react and force the other team to give it right back, the better you're going to be.
McGinn now left side is Galvis. And so Central Florida will be content to work the back line here. Crusaders will begin move up Memphis defensively in a 1-2-2, and that long pass toward the corner picked off. Memphis an opportunity. They've got a quick 2-on-2. They'll use it as an opportunity to get a line change. So it'll be Ayala who will just dump it back into the corner. Memphis gets a 5 for 5 as Adamson comes back onto the field. Georgievich leaves it down the left boards. One thing Central Florida did last night, they didn't allow last night Sliwa, who was in net, or Adamson, who likes to kind of hang back there and survey the field, didn't let them get very comfortable. And then Zacco now toward the yellow line.
And even with the experience of Adamson, if you put enough pressure on somebody enough number of times, you're going to be able to force some errors throughout the night. There's a good kick save, cleared out.
Georgievich wraps it around the boards, and now back to Klink. So Klink moves it to Adamson, so Memphis will get a reset. Moves it onto the left boards, looking down low for Galizzi and turned over. Yeah, that's going to be taken away by Galvis quickly in Central Florida. See if they try to get a switch. No, they're going to stay in the field of play here, trying to get something going. Nice job. That goes under the feet of Vargas. He tried to leave it for Frankie, but Vargas will retake it, and they'll reset. Couple of switches here for the Crusaders, as they'll swing it out left. Leon well out of net in dangerous territory if they force him.
Even in trouble, good footwork by the keeper. He was able to, after he released the ball, he immediately went into a position to make himself available in a line of sight for his defender. So smart play.
Adamson toward the corner, gets decent roll. Memphis having a little trouble getting that thing settled down on the foot of Samuel Castro.
And that's one thing in this league. You can't win unless the goalkeeper has a very active role and is a part of the success. You cannot hide in the National Indoor Soccer League.
They leave it, and it's a goal. Nice pass on the back of the foot by Galizzi, and it looks like Castro puts it home, and the Americans lead it 1-0.
Well, the nice run here, and then he hit this one into the back post. In fact, I think that took a deflection. It looked like it might have gotten a piece of Camargo as that went in. Nonetheless, had enough mustard on it, sent it back post. No chance for the Crusaders goalkeeper. And they find themselves in familiar territory, down again to the Memphis Americans. Americans strike first blood, up 1-0 here halfway through the first.
So Galizzi, his 10th assist of the year, and a really nice heel strike. Castro, his 4th goal of the season.
And it was a good run through the right channel too, Jeff, as he was able to get past the Central Florida defender and have a good look at the goal. And again, just shows the importance, especially to the young players out there. It's not all necessarily what you can do on the ball, but your ability to sacrifice and run hard off the ball, because you just never know when you're going to get fed that pass in the channel.
Camargo, cross field. Central Florida last night, a really nice job going left to right from side to side, stretching out the defense. Tobias hard off glass, looking to come to the near corner. Now they've got him pinned on the boards. That's Rada trying to break free, and here's Tobias, point blank shot, and Klink able to smother it up. Well, Tobias, when he gets that long leg wound up, a lot of velocity, can put a lot behind the ball.
It's good positioning by Matt Klink, just simply playing big and playing right in front. Just did not give him much of a target to shoot at other than a big yellow James Pest Management jersey.
Right side now is Campos. Well, they got Tobias clear along the left wing, and now Rada cutting across the middle. Let's see what they get set up here. Tobias looking for Rada, overshoots him just a bit. Follow not much on that kick, kind of towed that one under the turf shoes. Campos, nice job. Misdirects all the way back to Leon. They'll spread it out, regain their shape, and they'll get a couple of sets of fresh legs out on the turf now for Central Florida. They'll go 4-4-5 on this switch. They'll leave Tobias in, who's just hanging out down there inside the just outside the keeper's box. Leon will take a look. Works it over to McGinn. Long to Tobias. Off glass, misdirected into the hands of Klink.
That took a fast carom off of the corner board, Jeff. I don't know if that hit right where the glass meets the dasher board, but not much reaction time.
Picked up a little speed off the glass. Matthew Klink in net, 2-0-0, 617 goals against average. Here is Indonzako. Had his entry pass deflected. Adamson couldn't control, but Castro now with the ball. Ball never really got settled down there. It looked like Galizzi was going to wind up. Ball stayed in the air a little bit too long. Alvarado now outside the yellow line. Galizzi says settle things down. Hard off glass, leaving into the middle, not there. Alvarado will cover him up. Well, as much as Central Florida does, and there's going to be a foul on Memphis, as much as they do to score, they lead the league 130 goals scored in 12 matches. Defensively, I think they're outstanding. Just 51 goals allowed, and they do such a nice job. If you have an opening, you better take the opportunity immediately because they'll close it up quickly.
Yeah, if you're going to go to one of their matches in Central Florida, or just down the road to Tampa, you better be a Central Florida fan because you're not going to see many other goals by the opponent. That's for sure, because they can run it up. If they're averaging over 10 per game and just giving up 4, that's pretty stingy. But here's a chance for them to make some hay off of a restart.
Okay, here comes Bacon Frankie. Had the game winner in overtime last night. He'll have Tobias over to his left. Will work the post and the wings. 3-man wall for the Americans. Tobias banks it off of the wall. The follow is good, and that was by design. Tobias wasn't trying to work it through the wall. He wanted the deflection. It went right to Camargo, who evens the match.
Yeah, just a calm reaction to the block shot, and then Camargo, it was deflected off of Castro. Bad luck as that one curled up and over and in, and the dance that all the ladies love. Camargo, fiesta, forever. Come on and sing along, as Lionel Richie said.
Tobias basically used a three-man wall as you do in basketball. If your defender turns his back, and you just bounce it off their back.
Sure.
He wanted the ball back just to deliver it to Camargo. And that's a fourth goal of this little home two-game series here in Memphis. Now as Tobias will get his second assist. And again, Camargo, that's going to be his first goal of the weekend. He had a pair of assists last night. Pressing up now. And a takedown. That foul going to be against Central Florida. So a couple of quick fouls. Well, that's actually the first one on Central Florida. So a foul each on each team. And Adams will quickly bring it up.
So Adamson sets this up just inside the yellow line. He wants a little bit more of a mark off. So Michael Carson will step it off, and it was one half stride off.
Two-man wall. Georgievich, and a nice kick save that time by Leon. Left in, Crusaders. And it's going to be Vargas that took one right to the diaphragm, right in the middle. It's up under the chest, knocked the wind out of him.
So that's what they're calling it these days.
2:40 to go in a 1-1 game.
Yeah, no malice in it, just two guys hustling for the ball.
Adamson again comes up Alvarado. Through traffic in Zacco. Memphis has Galizzi coming along the backside. Can't find him. So Adamson will take it at the center circle. Galizzi looking back door. The one-timer is good, and Memphis takes a 2-1 lead. It'll be hard to find a better goal than you just saw from Castro.
Here's another look, Jeff. This is absolutely gorgeous. Just the scoop pass, and then the left-footed drive near post buries it past the keeper. Big goal of the year contender in the National Indoor Soccer League off of the volley. The pass had to be just absolutely perfect, and it was, and the Americans reclaim the lead at 2-1.
That was a tough angle there for Castro, but makes it work. They'll go down to Tobias, off chest, leaves it, and hops into the hands of Klink. That's what makes Tobias so good. You can look at his 26 goals, and a lot of times the goal scorers, that's what you look at. But the fact that he has 18 assists, he gets everyone else involved. He's not trying to take it and score every goal himself.
He's kind of like a shark on a soccer field because he's very calm out there, and he never truly gives away what he's going to do, and I think that's why he gets so many assists, Jeff, is that he brings everybody in, so you can't necessarily count that he's going to take that final touch.
Well, that time Bloom gives it a shot. Trying to knock it a one-timer. Not enough zip on the ball. Under a minute remaining here in the first quarter. 2-1 Americans. Alar. He's going to go long, high off glass. And Georgievich. It's two big guys going at each other, Georgievich and Tobias. The two really, surprisingly, did not match up a whole lot. And here comes Leon almost to the midfield stripe. Tobias with 15 seconds into the corner. Out in front, Georgievich saw the pass coming. That'll be a foul on Central Florida. Camargo gets it. That's going to end the opening quarter as time is going to run out. But a very active first quarter of play. And Memphis has the 1-0 advantage here at the Lander Center. As you can see that foul right there as they took down Georgievich. Well, don't forget, Americans fans, for 75 years, James Pest Management has been serving its customers in Mississippi and Tennessee with the highest level of quality, friendly service. Their certified technicians, free same-day estimates, and customizable plans are ready to help your families and your business thrive without unwanted pests. Protecting what matters to you is the business that means the most to the local family-owned and operated team at James Pest Management. As our presenting sponsor, they are a big part of the team's success on and off the field. Give them a call or visit them online. Through one quarter, play 2-1 back after this. It's the NISL.
For best choice in pest control, call James Pest Management, 367-2007.
Well, we're set for second quarter action from the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi. Jeff Private alongside Tim Van Horn as the duo of Galizzi to Castro worked twice at 9 minutes and 2:07. Meanwhile, it was Camargo assisted by Tobias at 4:31. The difference maker, just a 6-4 shot advantage for the Americans in the opening quarter of play.
Hasn't been too terribly physical of a match yet. Had just a couple of fouls so far in the first half. And, of course, remember in the NISL, once a team accumulates 8, that is a team 2-minute penalty, and then those numbers reset again. Nowhere near close to that right now, but as the game goes on, expect it to heat up.
And Nzako finds a seam from the left side. Took a feed from Adamson over halfway down the field and just made his way down the boards, made a right-hand turn, and makes it a 3-1 game.
Was that on the top of the boot or the outside of the right boot? Either way, Ndenzako in the netto. I'm feeling it today, Jeff. I just feel like this is a big game. I got dad jokes all day long. I just won't look at the YouTube comments.
That's right. Yeah, two-goal advantage right off the bat in the second quarter. And now a wrestling match breaks out on the boards as it is Georgievich. He's going to plead his case, but to be honest, he got his arms wrapped around a lure. Let's take another look at it. I mean, you may get 2 points on the mat, but you'll get a foul here.
1 for the hip toss, 2 for the reversal. Absolutely. Yeah, good call, Jeff.
Oh, a turnover. Tobias. Oh, a little fake, and he got clinked down. We talk about how skilled Tobias is. And to be able to do that, just stop, move the ball over to your left foot, and send it in, that's outstanding.
Trying to get out of the red zone. It's intercepted, and then the step over with the bottom of the right boot drags it across Matthew Klink and then is able to tap it home. Calmly did that. This is a high-skill league, but I will tell you, there are a lot of professionals that would have a difficult time calmly just taking that extra touch, instead trying to chip the keeper, in which case that probably would have been blocked. Terrific goal by Tobias.
27th goal of the year for Tobias, who also comes in with 18 assists this year. Memphis trying to counter. It'll be Bloom. Bloom sends it out into the middle. Galizzi, a little 1v1, and that ball will be kept in by Galizzi. Nice hustle. Galvis will work him on the boards. Dangerous ball right in front of Leon. And now things starting to pick up out here. A foul, a little push from behind out there on Memphis.
Yeah, Bloom charged with that foul, and now here's another look at that. Yeah, once you get the arms extended, he's very lucky he didn't tumble into the boards, because he could have gotten a boarding call.
Well, hip check Charlie Vargas near the boards that time. And we are even. And it's Tobias again from the right of Klink.
Mercy me, that is right off of the restart. Here is the free kick, and then just one touch, settles it down with his thigh, and then just drills it past the Memphis defense. I'm not sure if the defense was ready or not. Matthew Klink did not look happy.
No, that's what I think Klink was pointing at Tobias, basically telling the squad, hey, we got to put a mark on this guy, even if you've got to play a 4-on-4 type of game and have one guy consistently on Tobias.
I think the Crusaders are awake now, Jeff. If last period it was a slow start, I think we got ourselves the team that we expected them to be this afternoon.
Tobias back-to-back goals. He's evened things up. He's got 28 now on the season. Nice thought that time by Burke, hard off board through the middle. That one just punched out by Leon.
Good assertive goalkeeping to clear that. He had Djordjevic breathing down his back.
Ayala will go down. And the foul on Central Florida, it looks like Alar, got into him. Yeah, wrestled him down from behind. Djordjevic from the right side. And Nzako scored just 15 seconds into the quarter, is back in. Americans will spread it out. Djordjevic with the left foot, hammers it home. Little misdirection, and here we go. The Americans and the Crusaders going back and forth.
Jeff, was that deflected? I'll be interested to see the replay if this got a piece of Rada. Hard to tell, but from that distance, if it didn't, the goalkeeper's got to do better from that distance, because if it's not deflected, he had a good look at that. Just a very well-placed ball. When the Memphis Americans, just like that, reassert their lead. And we've had 3 quick goals here in the first 5 minutes of the third period.
20 goals now on the season for Jordy Djordjevic, who was the league leader a year ago in the NISL.
4 quick goals, actually. We started 2-1.
Right. That time Galvis got his arm around, and he'll be whistled for the foul. Joe Adamson just going to walk it up, look things over. It's your head coach and defender for the Americans, for head coach for the men and the women, defender for the men. Swings it out wide to the right. That's Burke into the corner. Hard off glass and just behind the foot of Scharf. Crusaders turn, look out. They've got Tobias back on there. Adamson, he got around Adamson. Tobias. No one there in the center as that ball was misdirected, but nobody home to put it in. Opposite end, Burke hustles for it. They'll both go under the boards. He's pinned down there. Looks like with McGinn. Now a little contact after whistle. Now things are really picking up, the scoring and the physicality of this game.
I think we've now finally caught up to the number of fouls equal to the number of goals in the game. Wow.
Galvis goes against Ndenzako, and Ndenzako gets the steal, works it back to Scharf.
And both clubs are finishing their challenges now. Now at the beginning of the game, it's kind of, okay, let's figure each other out at the start of this game. But now, even when the ball's passed away, that you're watching these clubs now putting a little extra contact in. as the ball gets away. That'll be a restart for the Crusaders.
Well, it usually takes a quarter. You play a back-to-back. This game wrapped up around 9 o'clock last night, a little bit before 9 o'clock, so you're looking at only 16 or so hours before you turn around, not a full 24 hours. There's Tobias again. This time Klink's going to come out. He'll take the ball after it ricochets. That's a hard thing, man. They put Tobias down there near the glass. He's going to have 6-8 inches, a foot on a lot of guys. He can play the balls high off the glass.
That's a rare one for Tobias to not win along the boards.
That one just headed back out by Leon. Opts not to just grab it and get a goal kick.
Yeah, I think he was hesitant. He wasn't quite sure where if the ball was going to land inside the box. Now he could be partially out of the box, but better have at least a part of that ball on that square, or you've got problems. Maybe even a 2-minute penalty.
Georgievich off his back heel. Here's the shot, just wide to the right of Leon. Camargo now into the near corner, Leon. They'll reverse direction as Bloom closes the gap, forces the issue. Franca. And he had the game winner last night. Camargo right side. Georgievich steps in front. Won't be able to control. Does get the deflection, though. He may try to grab the takeaway from Campos in the corner. Beginning an action-packed second quarter thus far. Let's see what Memphis has going here. Toward the right side, Galizzi. He'll set it up. He's got Castro hanging out there, and that was the combo, at least in the first quarter. Adamson back on the turf. He'll work it with Bloom.
Now Central Florida playing man-to-man. Unforced error.
Trying to go to the corner. That went out of bounds.
And Adamson's not happy with Klink about this. He's like, hey, listen, you can keep this low. You had several opportunities. Do not just hand the ball away.
So the Crusaders will have it in their own defensive third. Quickly back to Leon. Up front, they are going to have Berg and Ndenzako. Memphis will, along with Alvarado. So a good trio up high if they're able to get a takeaway and make an attack. Out to the right side is McGinn. McGinn to Leon. Leon, yellow line, McGinn again. Tobias heads it into the center. Adamson there that time for Memphis. Right now, possession being controlled by the Crusaders. And Nzako makes a little drop step. He'll come backwards, trying to get some space. And here comes the Central Florida pressure, even though they pick up the foul. But you can see right there what we saw a lot of last night. Didn't see in the first quarter here. Central Florida's not going to let you sit back, relax, and kind of look the field over.
No, not at all. And really a double benefit out of this foul. One closer to the 8-foul mark, but more than anything else, Memphis a chance to just relieve some of the pressure that they were on in their own defensive third of the pitch.
High hop off the turf, and Nzako waiting. He takes it, leaves it. Georgievich to his left, looking for a seam. It's not there. Georgievich, I think, wanted to wind one up from outside. Never could find a lane. Georgievich, he'll come up now. Into the corner. Not a lot of space, but they found the seam, and on the back door, it's going to be Galizzi. He's assisted a couple of times. This time he gets a goal for himself, and that'll be his 9th of the season.
Good patience by the Memphis Americans, working it around the back, and then the entry pass from Georgievich to Mike Scharf, and then across the box to Galizzi. Good team goal, and just like that, Memphis reestablishes its 2-goal lead.
Well, they had Leon way out to the right. Stephen McGinn was there, but Galizzi threads it right between the legs to make it a 2-goal lead for the Americans with 3:48 remaining in the first half.
Memphis also leading with shots on goal 10-6 at this point. They've been out on the front foot, but make no mistake, when the Crusaders get going, they are effective.
Last night it was 2 goals in the last 3 minutes that tied up at the half, and then, of course, the 2 goals in the last couple of minutes that tied up in regulation before they would win it in overtime. So the lesson probably from Corey Adamson to his team is you got to finish in the last 2 to 3 minutes, and we're nearing that point here with a 2-goal lead for Memphis. Bloom takes the brunt of that contact from Camargo with the left foot, and Klink makes a nice save, lunging to his right.
Good steal, good shot, terrific save, as Klink's able to parry that wide and away out of danger.
Campos along the boards. Off of Burke. Burke's been a nice addition to Memphis. 7 goals, 4 assists. Had 1 assist in last night's game that Central Florida again won in overtime. About 2.5 minutes remaining, and again a 2-goal lead for the Americans. This is a similar situation to last evening's game where the Crusaders got 2 late goals to take the game into the locker room even. Yeah, Corey Adamson would like to move it up, but you got big Rafael Tobias standing in front of him. There's no room to move the ball up.
Galizzi wanted a fast restart, but instead they're going to get to the designated point at the top of the arc, which is not the worst thing in the world, because then you get Corey Adamson, who gets to have the pick of the litter of where he wants to put the soccer ball.
Going to have Galizzi to his left, Djordjevic to his right, 2 down low. Tobias anchors that 3-man wall. Adamson to Djordjevic off the hill. The shot off of Leon. Camargo had it taken away by Djordjevic. Tried to force it in there. This ball's staying alive for the Americans. Camargo can't get it cleared. He goes down. High hop's going to be out of bounds. Nice thought, though, out high by Galizzi.
Good extended possession for the Memphis Americans, keeping pressure. They didn't convert on the free kick, but they did force Central Florida to spend a lot of energy defending the goal down low.
That was the touch. Adamson off his foot out of bounds.
Good push save over the top by Dad there on the 3rd row.
Back out to Leon. Under a minute remaining. And there's where, if you're Memphis, as we have contact again, Djordjevic goes down, and a card coming up, and our first penalty coming up in the game. It's going to be against Central Florida. So Memphis will have a 50-second power play to end the half.
Here's another look at it, Jeff, and it's behind the play. It looked like maybe I couldn't tell if they locked up arms.
Yeah.
And
Galvis got the arm. Yeah, I think Galvis, both were guilty of kind of interlocking the arms, but when Galvis went down, he did the little pull maneuver, try to pull him over the hip.
Yeah, you can't do that right in front of the officials for sure. So
if Memphis doesn't score here, they will start the second half with a minute 10 of power play opportunity. Adamson. Let's see if they wind it up here for Djordjevic. Thought about it. Instead dumps it into the corner. Right when out of bounds. That's going to give Central Florida a chance. Here probably, I would imagine, just send it back to Leon, get a little time, clear it, get into the locker room.
We'll see how Memphis handles this, if they'll have Galizzi and Scharf maybe add a little pressure along with Alvarado.
So there'll be 27 seconds. Once they touch things up, they're going to give him a little bit of room. They'll back Alvarado off the ball, right back to Leon. Hangs on to it. He goes up to the center. It's slightly dangerous, but a foul's going to be called on Memphis as Alvarado got his arm around Camargo, forced him to the ground.
That buys a little space, too, for Central Florida. If they just want to play this back, they've got a little more room to work with here. But, yeah, the tackle, got a piece of the ankle. Good call.
Straight up with 18 seconds. Tobias on the turf, so you got to be leery of him even with 11 seconds to go. Now Memphis wanted to get it down quickly. They had Scharf screaming down the right side. Galizzi saw him, but they're going to make him reset.
Yeah, well, and it's going to be Central Florida's ball. The far side official making the call and realized that was the incorrect call, that it should go to the Crusaders. So we'll have a restart here with 10 seconds and with Tobias out there, and we've already got a little shenanigans off camera here as he tries to get some spacing.
Well, they're jockeying for position. They went right to Tobias. He was defended by Alvarado. That is going to end the first half of play as time is going to expire. Kind of a pedestrian first quarter, but things, Tim, took off in the second quarter.
Yeah, if the first was pedestrian, the second was mass transit. No doubt about that. As the action picked up, as we had 4 goals in the first 5 minutes, and now things have gotten physical, which means there's going to be a lot of gamesmanship and certainly a lot more action to come in the second half.
Should be a good one. Committed to helping people find high-quality medicinal alternatives and improving the quality of life for everyone, Ounce of Hope is one of the Memphis Americans' newest partners. Their aquaponics farm consistently delivers high-end product while minimizing environmental impact. Ounce of Hope wants you to be pure, be well. Tell Cam that you love the Americans and thank them for their supporting, and that is Ounce of Hope. Through one half of play, it's 5-3 Memphis Americans. Well, the second half coming your way shortly. This is the NISL.
Score. One minute left. 1 minute to play. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game. Ladies and gentlemen, give these young men a big round of applause for the passion they have for playing the game that they so love. Great job, gentlemen.
Teams back on the field as we get set for second half play in the first of our doubleheader between Memphis and Central Florida from South Haven, Mississippi. The women coming up next. Battle of the top two teams in each division here. The men's division, Central Florida is undefeated at 12-0. They sit in first place comfortably. Second game a little bit tighter. The Americans gave themselves a little bit of room with that very close win last night in the women's game. A little bit tighter, and it's a game, if they win today, should lock up at least a playoff spot. Not necessarily the 1 seed, but the defending champion American women should be safely in the playoffs if they can pull out a result today.
And they travel well, so that would bode well for them. The better that they can get that seed, then could provide maybe a better path to defending that women's championship. Now, shots on goal in the first half, Americans led that one 12-7. And as we start the second half, Jeff, we will find that Gennaro Galvis will be in the penalty box, I believe, for 50 seconds is what is remaining in the
I believe a minute 10.
minute 10.
Yeah, we got 50
the
seconds.
math back. Yeah,
20 seconds. Ready for the official whistle, and we'll get going. Look, the last 50 seconds of the first half, Central Florida, outstanding job of killing the short man advantage.
Yeah, they did. In fact, they got Memphis to commit at least one foul and a couple of balls out of bounds, so they were very efficient defending against the Memphis power play, which never really got a chance to establish. We'll see if they can do that here.
Well, they start shorthanded, but Central Florida not starting the second half with Tobias out there right now. Here's Georgievich up high to Adamson. Trying to thread the needle. He wanted the corner. It'll still make it in the center. A good position for Memphis. And from behind, it's Campos that got into the back of Galizzi. Or was it Scharf that went down?
It's Galizzi at the top of the arc, which the bad news is it's a restart near goal for Memphis if you're Central Florida. The good news is clock keeps running.
Yeah. They've got about 20 seconds remaining in this 5-on-4 power play. Just a little two-person wall up there, shorthanded. Adamson. Well, by the time he gets the kick, the power play's going to be over.
And now they're saying that the ball is to be placed on the spot at the top of the arc.
I mean, the power play's over now as Adamson winds up. Doesn't matter. He puts it in. And that's going to go down probably as an even strength goal because right before he wound up, we could see Galvis come out of the box. Nonetheless, Adamson gets the first goal of the second half.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to care too much. Wow, that hit right underneath the bar. Yeah, they'll definitely take that and extend their lead to 6-3 here in the early going of the third quarter. And after yesterday, I'm sure the message in the locker room was, Jeff, let's build a lead and then let's hang on to it and see if we can expand upon it.
10th goal of the season for Corey Adamson, his third this weekend against the Crusaders. Well, they get Tobias out to the left. That's where they go. He got going, and that one is going to be wide to the left of Klink. He got going in the second quarter.
I think that one was headed toward net, and that one had a little bit of a slice to it at the end. That almost caught the far post.
Camargo now at midfield. Wants Tobias high near the yellow line. Rolls it back to Camargo. Leaves it out in front. And that's going to go off the foot as Casser just smothered it and rolled it off to the left side. Another opportunity, long distance high of the upper 90. Into the hands of Klink as he waits on it.
And that's not a bad ball in by Tobias because when that comes in, you never know who's going to jump up, could screen the keeper, could get a deflection. Speculative, you think at first, but then the more bodies that it passes over, you're thinking, okay, you know, this could be a bit of trouble. Smart play, but Memphis gets away with that one.
That's one thing about this Central Florida club. They do have some size. We talk about Tobias, but Matthias Camargo, a pretty big guy himself.
Yeah, he is, and he's got some wheels, too. They've got size and a bit of speed. And then you've got your typical indoor players who are going to be more compact but very efficient with the ball, good speed, good quickness.
Off the board to Cirizati. They'll work it back to Leon. Quickly coming up as Galizzi trying to force the issue. That time just past Tobias.
Well, that's a smart pass across the pitch by Bloom.
Galizzi 1-on-1 near the boards toward the corner. He'll work it back up the wing. Yeah, just out of the reach. Not a lot on that one. Bloom was trying to punch it through. Galizzi pressures Allure a little bit. Or Alar. Back out to McGinn. Again, a 3-goal lead right now for the Americans just underway in the second half. Adamson, the early goal to give Memphis a 3-goal advantage. Cirizati wanted to go across the field. Nice little spin move that time. They find Ndenzako off the leg of Galizzi. Ndenzako leaves it. Little kick save that time by Leon, who was big last night.
He doesn't mind going to ground, does he, Jeff? At least in this match, last night, just as acrobatic, I assume?
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to make that body big along the lower portions of the net. It was a nice job to whether it's a kick save or just to smother it up. What he does nice, too, on a kick save, if it's near him, he'll pounce right on top of it. Not a lot of loose balls in front of Leon.
His defense will definitely appreciate that.
To Hopper to Djordjevic, and Denzako leaves it for Adamson. And now Memphis tries to get the shape and move up in Denzako.
I think you had mentioned Central Florida really only averages giving up about 4 goals per match. And one of the reasons is if you clean up the spillage, if you reduce that, you really reduce the number of garbage goals that are given up, and that's got to help that number as well. Whereas you could see 6-7 goals, that can cut down.
Tobias goes high and out of bounds. And look, we're deep enough now in the season. They played 12 matches. Central Florida has. A lot of people wondered, are their numbers skewed? Because they had that one outlier game this year where they scored 24 goals, and everyone wondered, was it an outlier? Their numbers just big because they had the one odd game. 12 games into the season, if you've scored 130 goals, it's legit.
Yeah. Yeah, you've run most of the marathon. We see what your pace is for sure.
Adamson now over to Djordjevic. Trying to go off boards. That's going to just kick off the foot. Off the foot and then off the body of one of the Crusaders. Just had to reach that time for Djordjevic on the pass from Bloom. Could be a costly turnover. Oh, and Djordjevic, they got Leon out of net, touched it with his right foot and just to the left of the post.
I thought that one was going in. Now they got numbers, Jeff, if they want it.
Counterattack opportunity. It's Vargas down the middle, leaves it to the right, and they'll miss wide to the near side of the post. A golden opportunity as Klink came out to cut down the angle. Well, both teams now have had an opportunity getting the keeper to come up to cut down an angle, but just unable to put it in. And let's face it, Tim, you play keeper, you cut down the angle, that's why you do it.
You absolutely do, and it also, at times, if you're lucky enough, you also cut off a passing lane at the same time. So Matthew Klink, good job there closing things down. Saw Djordjevic came off there. That had to be a rough last 5 seconds of the shift. He had 2 slide tackles there, and he's not wearing the sliding shorts, so may be time for the strawberry cream.
Klink looking downfield. He's just going to give it the long toss. And they never let it get to Galizzi. Now it's loose. Galizzi making his way toward corner. Leaves it behind Ndenzako. If that pass would have been on the mark, Ndenzako would have been coming down. Castro was making a push. Instead, Central Florida, they dictate the pace. It's Rada, and he's going to get tied up. As both he and Galizzi go down, and Galizzi is going to get the card on this one.
And Rada made that happen himself. That was a great hustle play. 1-on-2 Americans. He wins the battle and then goes down under the pressure from Galizzi. And now Memphis will be a man short here halfway through the third period. And you've got Tobias that's looking to set up and take this restart. I think he wanted an extra 5 yards inside on top of that, but Michael Carson says, no, we're going to play from the spot of the foul.
2-minute power play coming up here at 7:09 remaining in the third.
Well, this would be big for Central Florida. Down 3 goals. This is an opportunity to get a quick goal back with plenty of time to go.
You got Tobias out there, the ever-dangerous Tobias. Leaves the pass. Adamson deflected it. That's going to be out of bounds. And I imagine now Corey Adamson, he's going to get up into the face of Camargo. Those are the two that went at it last night.
I think he was saying, and we can translate this for the audience, did you see me block that shot? Did you see me block that shot?
Last night was Adamson that leaned over Camargo when he went down here. It's Tobias and Klink. It's under his feet. Camargo finds Tobias. Misdirected twice. Central Florida keeps it on the power play. Good job. They got Klink down on the ground, but nice job by the American defense to keep it away from him.
Yeah, that initial save by Klink was big, and then the defense came to his rescue. There's another great foot save by Klink. Good read, didn't commit to the move by Tobias.
Still over a minute remaining on the power play, just over a minute. Camargo finds Tobias. He faces up with Adamson, little square formation, 2-on-2, and then Ndenzako steps in front. He clears. Leon way out now, but that's all he could do with the pressure Ndenzako put on him.
Burning some precious time. Good job by Apollo Ndenzako.
38 seconds remaining. Into the corner. Tobias just leaves it out in the middle, and Ndenzako, a nice job to move it out. Well, it looks like what they're doing with Tobias, similar to, a hockey power play with the velocity he can put on the ball, leave him high. That one's going to be just over the crossbar, for lack of a better word, set Tobias up for a slap shot with as much as he can put on it.
Alvarado takes one. It looked like maybe to the chest or to the chin.
Power play about to be over. They'll turn and they'll get it with just 4 seconds remaining on the power play. And let's face it, they dominated possession on that power play. Klink did all he could, but it's going to be the number and the time, Tim, is going to bear out as Franca puts it in.
And we see this time and time again with any good finisher. Takes that touch, forces the goalkeeper back to the middle, and then cuts it back across to the near post. Franca with a terrific finish to close the gap now 6-4.
You keep that much possession, and Memphis was only once shorthanded, was able to get a very solid clearance.
It's good pressure up high by Vargas.
Takes a funny hop, but Klink comes up with a big save. And now Adamson's going to get whistled.
Was that inside the box or on the line? I think the referee's going to say no. Here's another look. There's a good save by Klink.
Yeah, that was Ayala. Excuse me, that Adamson. He's off the pitch right now. Oh, it's a prime spot for the free kick. Camargo and Franca, they leave it in.
Oh!
It's up, and what a save. And Memphis able to clear. They avoid a 1-goal game. Wow.
Talk about not giving up, Jeff. Oh, yeah, quarter. I stepped on the call there.
Okay. Gallus. Near side to Tobias.
I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to goalkeeping. Apologies.
Nice angle on the pass. High off the boards. Ball settled in by Franca. Tobias now with 3.5 minutes to go here in the third. Still a 2-goal advantage for the Americans. Central Florida never allowed Memphis really to expand the lead where it would be out of reach. Memphis led it by 3. They lead it by 2. Through ball never makes it over. And now they've kind of gotten Memphis on their heels here the last 5 or 6 minutes. Not just the power play, but just controlling the possession. Here it is, Tobias. Little give and go, and boy, almost a three-man weave, and Tobias leaves it on the doorstep, and all Franca has to do is just put the boot on it.
I don't care what team you pull for. That's just a beautiful goal the way that was worked around. No chance as the back door was absolutely wide open for the tap-in. Tobias made it happen. The fear of everybody converging on him thinking he was going to take the shot, the layoff, the tap-in. Wow.
That's what we talked about Tobias already today. Tobias had a wide-open net. He could have just easily, it was right in front of him. That was empty. They had Klink down, but he opts to just let his teammate have the glory.
It's almost as if he and Djordjevic in this league are cheat codes. It's just incredible.
There it is. Okay, they get him down, and this is what you were the play before. What a save by Klink falling backwards.
He had 2 guys that were caving in on him, and he got a paw on that because that was going to go in.
Corey Adamson wants the timeout, and you can tell he's addressing the situation pretty sternly here. They had a 6-3 lead. They were in command of the game. Remember, after the Adamson goal early on in the first 2 minutes of this quarter. But since then, Central Florida has dictated the pace of this third quarter with the majority of the possession.
Absolutely. Shots on goal this period, 11 for the Crusaders, just 2 for the Americans. It has been a dominant third quarter for Central Florida. And we are absolutely not shocked by that. We expected this game to be this way. We expected Memphis to put up a fight. We expect Central Florida to do what they do. And we're not even through the third quarter yet. We still got a fourth quarter of frantic indoor soccer here coming up for sure.
Still 2:27 left here in this third quarter of play. Don't forget, Pyramid Electric is focused on providing best-in-class electrical contractors throughout Memphis and the Mid-South. Pyramid Electric, they've got the right contractor for your business needs. Give them a call for your next project. Go see Brian. Be sure to thank him for supporting the Memphis Americans and the NISL. Again, that's Pyramid Electric. Now they got Endon Zacco back up front after the timeout. And maybe probably a good use of a timeout by Corey Adamson here, not wanting to wait to the end of the quarter with the momentum that the Crusaders have built here.
Yeah, I know the Americans have a one-goal lead, but it does not – mentally it doesn't feel that way. It feels like Central Florida is in the ascendancy. Smart call by Corey Adamson to try to just put the brakes on it, at least just for a moment, and slow down Central Florida.
Alvarado from the yellow line sees that one sail high and out of bounds. So just over 2 minutes remaining here in the third. Memphis is trying to get to the quarter break with that lead. They'll close things up. That pass deflected by Scharf. Here's Burke really giving a lot of pressure to Campos. Burke gets a takeaway. Has Alvarado in front of him.
Nobody to pass to.
Yep, can't find the angle. And Vargas trying to counter against Endon Zacco, but no trailers right now as Endon Zacco will put him into the boards. So Vargas goes down, and they may end up getting Vargas for this. Now, judging by the reaction of Corey Adamson, that's fouls going against Memphis.
Yeah, here's a great look, Jeff. Yeah, I think once the arm got up higher on Endon Zacco, and that was the right call. Credit to both of them. Either one of them could have initiated a boarding type of issue there, which would have been a tough call for Michael Carson there, because it would have been a 2-minute penalty either way. But just good hard soccer there along the near boards.
One minute remaining. Adamson is going to go high into that corner. Americans unable to get that one settled down. Here comes Central Florida. They've got a trailer in the middle as Vargas goes down toward the corner. Off the boards, and Klink able to work it just off to his left. And now Adamson, he's tripped up. He'll go down, and he's going to get in the face of Galvis. And here comes the card.
And so he'll go for 2 plus a yellow. Here's the call. I believe this will be boarding as Adamson stumbled into the near side boards, Jeff.
And it's almost not so much that it was malicious, but he got it. Initially was going to go side to side, which would have been legal, but Adamson accelerated a little bit, and the contact initiated just slightly behind him.
Right, and per NISL rules, if the contact is initiated from outside the dotted lines and then carries into the boards, then you've got the 2-minute penalty. So now we find that that Galvis is in for 2 minutes, and now we're going to have a discussion here with Eric Phillips and Michael Carson regarding this. Of course, you saw the blue card plus the yellow card.
Well, the power play, if the power play at least stands, Memphis has 39 seconds here. If they don't score, they'll have 1:21 to start the fourth quarter, which would have been similar to the end of the first half, beginning of the second half. You see Galvis kind of pleading his case over there. I think there's no doubt he's going to stay in the box. I think maybe discussion is there going to be any initial major, which I don't think there. I don't think there was anything malicious on the intent of that.
And then you look at it, and I think the contact was to slow him down off the ball. I think you called it. I don't think there's an intent to go in. I don't think there's an intent to drive into the board at that point, because if you look at the contact, there's no extension of the arm. There's not that. But nonetheless, the contact with the boards did happen, so you've got the penalty, and now you've got Memphis with an opportunity here. And Adamson, once he crosses the line, he can either walk it up or fire it in. He'll choose to walk it up here, final 30 seconds or so in the third quarter.
Adamson over to his right to Scharf. Inside the defensive third as Galizzi will bring it back out. Now Djordjevic wings it into the corner. Djordjevic is going to wind up, leaves it, and rolls it along the turf. 15 seconds to go. Adamson takes it himself in the quarter, tries to turn on the angle. Down to 8 seconds. Central Florida will get the clear, and that should end the third quarter. Galizzi's going to wind up one last Hail Mary, and that will end the third quarter. So Memphis Going to have a minute 23 power play time to start the fourth quarter. Was an eventful third quarter as Memphis now clinging to a one-goal lead. Corky's Barbecue in Olive Branch, one of the newest sponsors. Their iconic legacy in Memphis barbecue began almost 4 decades ago with the first restaurant opening. Since then, they've opened additional locations, packaged the product for shipping and purchases in select grocery stores, and they've been featured in QVC, the nation's largest online shopping channel. No surprise, they're known internationally as the undisputed king of Memphis ribs and barbecue since 1984. 6-5 Memphis through 3, the fourth coming your way in just a moment. This is the NISL.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. These 4 contestants here will be competing as a team. One team member will race to put the Americans uniform on right here. Once they put the Americans uniform on, they go to the soccer ball and they pass it to their partner, who will finish the relay with a goal. The first team to score the goal will win 2 tickets each to our next home game. How about a big round of applause for these gentlemen? Ocean Dodge, Rainy Dodge, Alexandra Cooper, and Hudson Kirk. How about a big round of applause for these young gentlemen who are fixing to try to win this game here? And the object to the game is they're going to run and put on the Americans uniform. Then they're going to come and grab the ball, pass it to their partner, and the first one to score will be your winner. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, let's cheer them on, guys. Let's cheer them on. Who's going to get it on quicker? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All the way, all the way. Come on, buddy, come on. Whoa! And his pants fall down. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for our future of our sport here?
Ready for fourth quarter action here, and we'll start with a minute 23-second power play for Memphis to start the fourth quarter. Third quarter, Tim, all Central Florida. Early on, Corey Adamson got a goal to put Memphis up 3, but as you talked about, the big shot advantage, and they make up ground. And right now, Crusaders have the momentum to start this quarter.
Yeah, 11-4 shots on goal last period, and they definitely asserted themselves. The bad news for the Americans is that the Central Florida Crusaders have really picked it up. They are looking like a team that does not want to lose their first match of the year today, but the good news for the Americans is they are on the power play.
Adamson will take it. He'll walk it up. Djordjevic to his left. Alvarado goes down low. You got Galizzi in the middle. Looks like Scharf in the far corner. Djordjevic patiently to Alvarado, and Leon with an amazing save on the near post. So Leon comes up big again and just launches this one past midfield. And Tobias versus Adamson, and Tobias with the side's advantage on the header.
You know, he's got to be half crazy wearing shorts on an AstroTurf field anyway. So he's something else.
Djordjevic pounds it home.
Speaking of something else, Jeff.
Well, they finally found that lane for Djordjevic. He winds up with the left leg. Well, not much of a chance for Leon with the velocity that time. You just go down and hope he kicks the ball at you for the save.
Terrific shot, good finish, and that's a power play goal for the Memphis Americans. No question on the clock this time, that's for sure. And Memphis, very critically, reestablishes a 2-goal lead. This is the third time in the match they've had a lead of at least 2 goals.
So just over a minute into the final quarter, Memphis back up by a pair. Well, here's where Central Florida did a really nice job in the third, is just possession. Stay patient, control the ball, wait for the ball to come to you, ran the goal-scoring opportunities.
Lots of time left here, lots of opportunities for Central Florida, and they were in this scenario last night, Jeff.
3 goals in the last 3:37 in the run of play between the end of regulation and overtime. They scored just over a minute into the overtime period for the 7-6 win. Here's where Leon, as well as you see him well out of net, he'll kind of become their sixth player, their third defender. He doesn't mind playing out. Here's a nice shot from Tobias, and Kling, a nice job. Saw the angle there, threaded it through the Memphis defense, but comes up with a big save.
Long throw given right back, though, to Central Florida. Memphis trying to press in the attacking half, though, not letting Central Florida make a quick counter out of it.
Plenty of time, just under 12 and a half minutes remaining. So Central Florida, they don't have to have the sense of urgency down only 2 goals. Tons of time left in this one. Then racing down as Villar, and that was just going to roll innocently. Nice screen that time by Memphis, not letting him get to that loose ball. Castro through the middle to Ndenzako. Well, Memphis, one thing they don't want to do is be lured into a sense of comfort here. They wanted to continue to press, don't want to get into that prevent mode. Adamson swings it right side.
Castro's wanting the ball on the near side. He's down in the corner. He's made a run, and I think he's trying to draw one of the defenders away, but Central Florida has been very disciplined. And now there's a takedown, and that's going to go maybe in the books here for Campos.
It'd be hard-pressed not to think he's getting a card. Here it comes. Campos got over him, around him, and then took him down. Yeah.
So he's going into the books, but I think he's going the wrong way to the penalty box.
So another opportunity for Memphis. Another 2-minute power play coming up.
Memphis earlier on scored just after their first power play and then converted just moments ago on their second. That's why we stand here 7-5.
So Adamson going to work with it over to Djordjevic. Djordjevic, last power play, had him wind it up. Here's Galizzi, a little touch, but right into the hands of Leon, waiting on it.
Jeff, maybe best case scenario for Memphis is they convert on the power play, but they kill a lot of it and make Central Florida suffer by running shorthanded for nearly 2 minutes.
Ideally, you'd like to get in the back half. That 30 seconds, that one's just going to be high the upper 90 from Adamson. Djordjevic to Galizzi, back to Djordjevic, but the pass off the heel was a little bit behind him, but it was looking like it was going to develop really nicely. Leon, a nice save.
Good spell here by Memphis, working the defense. Central Florida unable to make a change. Another terrific save.
You know, Memphis has done a nice job. They haven't allowed a full clearance here as Leon punches it up. Corey Adamson quickly on top of it toward the corner. Through traffic, header and a goal. It's Djordjevic right there. Outstanding job by Memphis into the corner. Throw it into the middle and see if you can get it, and Djordjevic was waiting.
Not only was it a goal, he snapped it into the goal. That wasn't just a glance. He drove that into the far corner unmarked. Beautiful finish. And now Memphis, with just under 10 minutes to go, they've converted yet another power play, and they have now extended their lead to 8-5.
Early on here in the fourth, in the first 5 minutes, a 6-1 shot advantage for the Americans. As Djordjevic assisted by Alvarado. 3-goal lead. Back to the right, Galvis. Still plenty of time for Central Florida. Tim, I think you would feel, though, if you could get that 4th goal. I don't say you would feel comfortable, but maybe somewhat confident as long as you just play your game over the last 9 minutes. 3 goals still very capable for the high-octane Central Florida offense, though.
Memphis has to be smart here too, Jeff. No penalties whenever possible. Just keep the clock running and keep as many players on the pitch as you possibly can. And I'll be interested to hear your thoughts as we get another minute or two into this, how Memphis defends when they don't have the ball compared to last night, because we're getting into that critical time now where time is truly an ally of Memphis.
Djordjevic just outside the yellow line. Well, Memphis seemed last night, maybe they went on to prevent just a little bit. Galizzi leaves it right side. They got a 3-on-1, and now it's the 4-goal lead for the Americans. They got the counter opportunity, and it's Samuel Castro again.
And the hat trick hero, this could be his biggest goal of the season as that extends the lead. Beautiful work, but I don't want also to go unnoticed that Bloom's original pass in the give and go in the neutral zone sprung 2 Memphis Americans loose to make that play happen and to make that finish happen. So now the Americans lead this one by a score of 9-5, and now we're going to have a field player / 6th attacker.
I think it's Frankie that comes in. So Leon is off. I think they got Leon thinking they were going to pass it back to that right corner, and that left the net open, and that's going to be into the arms of Klink. And right now he needs to take all the time he's allowed before he's got to release it.
Oh, that's a smart throw by Klink. He throws it into space, maintains possession, and now Memphis, as you said, it's just taking time, running clock, make Central Florida chase and provide openings to attack when possible.
Out the foot of Burke, who's really the only Americans player down low. Alvarado sends that up into the stands. That'll get the clock to under 7 minutes, a 9-5 lead for the Americans. At 12-0, and the way they score, Tim, I'd venture to say I would go from South Haven to Tunica and feel safe making the proposition that this is the first time this year they've been down 4 goals.
You would reckon so, Jeff.
One-timer, and that's a nice job by Adamson because they had Klink going down to his left, and that'll go out on Adamson, but that probably prevents a goal.
The Central Florida team has been so good that there have been evenings when they just simply show up and mentally they've already won the game. We've got the clock stopped here as we're waiting for a ball to be served up for the corner kick.
Americans are going to pack it in. 4 inside the box, 1 just outside. Tobias rolls it, and what a beautiful assist by Tobias. Leaves it on the foot of Victor Rod. He just doesn't get assists. He puts it seemingly in the perfect position every time.
Yeah, and he lays it it's just stick a foot, angle it, and boom, a quick goal for Central Florida. And they're not showing signs of panic just yet, Jeff. Still a lot of time.
Well, you talk about the mental factor, a quick goal like that after Memphis gets a 4-goal lead. That's the type of goal that puts just a little bit of doubt in your mind. They'll go up again. This time it rolls right to Klink. A bicycle pass to the right side. Memphis has something going. And there's going to be a little bit of hold as Tobias and Djordjevic get tied up.
Now, is the foul on Djordjevic or is it on Central Florida? Because if it's on Central Florida, I'm not sure what Michael Carson's doing, not allowing advantage here.
Well, look like Tobias, his left arm just misdirected him enough to
you got to let advantage play
yeah.
right there. You got to let that play breathe.
Adamson.
Well, and now Adamson wants encroachment or a deflection. Is he going to get either? Yeah, he's going to get the corner.
So you've got Alvarado on the backside up high. You've got Castro along the backside and Zacco up high. Galizzi calling for it right in the middle if he can get the quick flick. He does, but the header's going to go just wide. The follow no good by Castro. Here's a counter opportunity.
And now Memphis has to hustle. It's a 2-on-1. They finally get some numbers back. And Galizzi, good positioning to shield the ball, regains possession. But now you can see Central Florida pressing 3 in and near the yellow line, and now an unforced error.
We give credit. Galizzi's been on that field a lot this afternoon, Tim. I don't know if they're double shifting him or he's just been that active. We've called his name right in the middle a whole lot this afternoon.
He and Adamson, two of the most when it comes to time spent on the pitch today, no doubt about that. And Nzako's had some moments today, too.
They'll work it off the leg of Galizzi and right back to Adamson. He's going to wait for Tobias to come to him. He'll just get a little soft punch in there. Let the two teams battle for it. That's what he wants. He wants the ball just to be knocked around, keep the time coming off, under 4 minutes to go.
Oh, and we have a Steve Bartman situation as a fan reaches over and grabs the ball.
Poor 8-year-old to get booed out of the stadium. Followed to his car. All right, okay, here we go. This is the situation Memphis is in last night. A 2-goal lead, though, last night with just around 3 minutes to go. They kind of went into, for lack of a better word, kind of a prevent mode, got back on their heels a little bit, and Central Florida just continued to put the pressure on. It paid off to get the goals. Now, you got a 3-goal lead last night for the Americans. It was a 2-goal lead late. You've got that extra goal to work with, but I think in this situation, Corey Adamson's going to tell them, as you've said, Tim, play smart, but don't play defensive in this situation. If you've got an opportunity to find a lane, go up with it.
Yeah, and then defensively, how will they defend? Will they build the house with a 1-2-2? Will they press 2 in the attacking half of the pitch and force Central Florida to play faster, which it can be good. You can create errors, but also if you're forcing a team to play faster, then they can unlock you faster as well. So some significant decisions being made right now during this timeout.
Well, Central Florida back on the
and also
field.
Some significant decisions. Do you at this point, on the dance cam, do you floss or do you nay-nay?
That's right. I'm glad to see the whip and the nay-nay making a comeback. It's hard to believe it's already vintage.
Yeah.
All right, here come the Americans. And again, as you mentioned, they're going to have, I believe it's Franca who got the game winner last night. He's going to be that sixth man out there. They took Leon, it was about 3 or 4 minutes ago, out of net. So it's Franca in there. The opportunity here, if you're Memphis and you can get a steal, you can dispossess Central Florida. If you can see the net flipped on the other side that goes high, but if you can get a good look at the net as Leon's back on, there's an opportunity to punch it over Franca's head and get that easy goal.
Good flashing run along the backside for Camargo, but lifts that out. It's a goal kick. That's going to have to be saved, and it was by Galizzi, almost a 3-line pass. Good job sorting that out.
Djordjevic toward the corner, he's taken down. Djordjevic probably, would be served well too, as you see in hockey in these situations, just dependent on the boards.
Absolutely.
Let the guy hit you from behind and keep you on there. The clock's going to run.
Yeah, just as importantly, you see Central Florida complaining. All they're doing, they've just burned 20 seconds complaining about something that's not going to get changed.
Adamson moves it over, has Scharf. Scharf had that one bounce off Campos. Campos out of bounds. Now you're at 2.5 minutes remaining.
And that's going to be a restart. Should be from the top of the arc since the defender cleared that from his own zone. And tick-tock goes the scoreboard clock, and this is another opportunity for Corey Adamson.
Galizzi to his right. Djordjevic Djordjevic to his right. Galizzi to his left. And Nzako down low. Little stutter into the corner, and Leon, tremendous save and a really nice shot, but Leon comes up big again.
How?
Looked like he just pinned that left shoulder on the post. So you're going to have to bend it around me.
Oh, I think that got him in the chest. He's holding his chest. Either that or he's getting ready for the national anthem for the next game. That was a blast, and now he's coming off making away for a sixth attacker in Franca.
Minute 40 remaining.
Memphis with that 1-2-2, Jeff. They're staying disciplined.
You know, the corner, they'll wrap it around. Bounces away from Klink. Still loose. McGill whip the shot. Georgievich, a smart thing, bank it off the boards. At that point, you don't want to do anything putting it up the middle. Even if you see a wide open teammate, just keep it outside and bank it off the boards.
And now with the foul, Memphis may not even restart this until there's about a minute remaining. Or nope, they take it right away.
Adamson just through the middle. Galizzi, he's just screening the ball right now. He knows the situation under a minute remaining. Galizzi, just a little bit of pressure on Leon. Desperation time now, more than desperation time for Central Florida, down by 3 goals. Tobias.
Nothing dumb here for Memphis, just enough pressure to not make it easy for Tobias. Franca says, scoot over, we're going to far side.
34 seconds. Into the middle, off the heel. Klink comes down, cuts off the ankle, shot high and out of bounds with 24 seconds to go. Clock stops there.
Now really the last critical piece of business for Matthew Klink is just get it somewhere down the field and not in a position where it's going to be quickly counterattacked.
Galizzi deflects it over to Georgievich. Tobias puts it up toward the ceiling. 10 seconds to go. And that one's going to get punched into midfield with 5 seconds to go. For the first time this season, the Central Florida Crusaders will taste defeat a day after they rallied with under 2 minutes to go in regulation and won in overtime. The Memphis Americans able to expand the lead, and they are the first team to knock off Central Florida. A big win today for Corey Adamson and his Americans club.
It's a great way to put an exclamation point on the weekend for the Memphis Americans. A hard-fought match last night ends in defeat. They take the same effort, still a great attitude, didn't get down from last night, and then took the lead, had the lead taken away, but then they kept rebuilding. Good character victory for this Memphis Americans team. And Matthew Klink, a big part of why they won this match today. Some critical saves as the afternoon went along. They should all be very happy. And, of course, this doesn't diminish the fact that Central Florida still the team to beat on the men's side in the National Indoor Soccer League.
As you mentioned, Klink comes up with 10 big saves today. Castro, Georgievich with hat tricks for each. 3 goals apiece for those two. Klink big in the net. But as you mentioned, you'll have a little bit of that confidence. You're still about a month away from the playoffs, so 3 matches remaining after today. But right now, you know, if you face them at some point into the playoffs, you're going to be the team, if not one of them, that has been able to get the win. And the other 2 losses were just 1-goal games.
That's exactly right, Jeff. Mentality will play a big part in the playoffs. Central Florida has been magnificent in the marathon, but it's going to come down to a sprint to win the championship, and Memphis has been the first one to strike blood on Central Florida.
Another battle of 1 versus 2 coming up shortly between the first place Memphis American women and the second place Central Florida Crusaders. But in the men's match, it's the Memphis Americans, a 9-6 win over the Crusaders. Tim and I will be back in just a moment for the women's matchup. This is the NISL.
You're about to enjoy one of the iconic, award-winning barbecue meals in the country.
Got and for your best choice in pest control, call James Pest Management 367-2007.
Welcome back to the Lander Center in South Haven, Mississippi. We're about set for the second game of our doubleheader between the Memphis Americans and the Central Florida Crusaders. Another battle of 1 versus 2 after the Memphis Americans men were a 9-6 winner over the Crusaders, giving the men's team their first loss of the season as the Crusader men fall to 12-1-0. The American men go to 6-5-1. That also snapped a 3-game losing streak for the men. Now we flip the cards, and it's the Crusader women 7-5-0 sitting in second place, trailing first place Memphis at 7-3-0. And for the indoor game, Tim, an unusually low-scoring affair last night, just a 2-1 Americans win.
I had to do a double take, wondering, okay, is the tens column missing? Because that was truly an outdoor score. But you're right, yeah, it was a very measured game, 2-1, very much unlike what the men's scores have been. But today, this is an opportunity for the Memphis Americans to not only cement their place in first place, but they have some games in hand. But what better way to maintain those games in hand than to beat your nearest competitor? So this is a great chance for Memphis this afternoon to make some hay and to extend their lead. And what better way to do it than at home on a Sunday afternoon? But yesterday it was nip and tuck, as you mentioned, a 2-1 game. And opportunities were, there weren't a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, Memphis dominated on the shot. If you were just to look at the score sheet last night, Memphis dominated on the shots, but you just didn't see a lot of pressure applied. More of a possession game in the middle third of the field between the two clubs last night. 2-1 win for Memphis. Memphis won back on February 5th, 9-6. That was down in Orlando. And so now we'll see what the Americans can do here this afternoon if they can get the sweep of the back-to-back games in Memphis. And again, as we talked about, every point really is going to really matter here down the stretch. We're getting into the last quarter of the schedule for these teams. In fact, Memphis now with a game lead, but they've got games in hand. So really Memphis, they get the result today, they get the win. They're going to sit in really good shape for the remainder of the season because they've got 2 games in hand right now over Central Florida, who has got 2 games back in the loss column. Then the Americans, you wrap it up with 2 games against Fayetteville. Season's over for you. Win today, it's not locked. I mean, your playoff spot's locked.
Yeah.
But you're in really good shape. Grab that number 1 seed for a second season in a row and defend your title.
Absolutely, and to do it at home and again against your nearest rival. And when you do have games in hand, that's great. But you got to win them. You got to win them. Winning today takes a lot of pressure off today. But for Memphis, and one of the issues for the Americans this year, the defending champions, there have been spells where there's been a lot of possession, but there's the fruits of their labor really aren't borne out on the scoreboard. So you can bet after the men for Central Florida got shaken up with their first defeat of the season that the women will not want a sweep to happen this afternoon. So this should be one heck of a game coming up here in just a moment from the Lander Center in South Haven, Mississippi.
And what we mean, Orlando has played 12 games so far, whether Central Florida, they've got 5 losses. Memphis has played, this is just their 11th match. They've only had 3 losses. You can always win another game. You can't erase a loss off your ledger, and that's the advantage Memphis has right now.
Absolutely. It's kind of like watching the old baseball games behind column back in the day.
Exactly. Well, we're about ready to go. Angel Haley in net had 7 saves last night, improved to 7-3-0, a 3.11 goals against average, 138 shots against, only 30 goals given up, 108 saves. I believe 182 was the number of saves Haley had last year. By far, a season ago, best goalkeeper in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And this afternoon, well, they're going to need her to be on point again, especially in these close matches. Every right move, every angle cut down makes a huge difference.
However, if someone could take that title away from her, it's going to be Rachel Newman in net. 17 saves last night, was just outstanding. She'll cut down the angle right off the bat as Memphis makes the quick move. Vega over there in the corners. Vega got taken off her feet. Long distance shot, high the upper 90. So you got a good matchup with Newman and Haley, the keepers this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Memphis with the first opportunity. Vega, I think her first touch let her down. I think she was going to take a shot on the touch before, but she couldn't settle it down. Memphis does eventually get a shot out of it, but the ball out And now the Crusaders, we'll see what they can do.
Now, the Crusader women, they score okay, 75 goals, give up 65 on the year. The Americans women, like their scoring has gone down a lot from a season ago. I'm sure they would like. They've had some injuries coming into the season. Don't have quite the scoring punch. However, defensively, no doubt the best defensive team in the league. Only 32 goals allowed in the 10 matches they played.
Yeah. So again, stingy, and defense also creates opportunities too. Of course, Memphis is a little different this year as well because you don't have Kelsey Keown out there.
Yeah.
She was injured in a road match, and she's done for the year. She's over on the Memphis bench this afternoon.
Last night it was an early goal by Central Florida, and that goal stood up for the majority of the game until Anna Trotter got her first goal of the season, and then Odino Drawn would have the game winner very late.
Memphis looking to make a line change. Smart hold-up play by Molly Martin. As Anna Trotter dishes it back to Angel Haley. And now Memphis has the 5 attackers they want out there. And let's see what they do as they walk this up.
Trotter, one of the newcomers. And again, Trotter last night took some punishment in the field. Took some pretty big hits, but it was Trotter from behind the yellow line late that had a ball deflect off the shoulder of a Central Florida defender and misdirected into the net to tie things up. So her toughness, she kept getting up, kept plugging away, tied the match up.
Bailey Tadlock with the takeaway, and Memphis regains possession.
Trotter out to Tadlock right side. Tadlock will try to wrap it around the boards, makes its way into the center, a little bit of pressure there on the left side. Now Sparks leaves it high for Kerner. Kerner lifts it just high. Sparks tried to settle it. Kerner's going to have to race after it. She's going to be shadowed by Gonzalez. And you got to watch out for Gonzalez. Gonzalez can really put on the afterburners if she has an opportunity for a counterattack. Long range again, and diving to her left is Newman. And that one just punted into the upper deck. There's going to be a lot of stairs for someone to climb to get that ball. So both teams will get a line change. Again, you've got to try to exploit the numbers that Central Florida brought. Only 3-4 subs over there. So if Memphis could get the pace of the game, and that's not their game this year, but if they could exploit the pace and get it up a little bit, fatigue could become a problem. Off the back kill, here's McGurden. Newman down for the save.
There's a couple of ways you can do that too, Jeff. That's extended possession. You don't allow line changes. You make them suffer by spending a lot more time out there before they can go catch a breather. And then, of course, also drawing the fouls, getting the power plays, and then you limit the number of Crusaders out there and you make them work harder. So there is an opportunity with road games as Memphis, a win today, and I think you said it best at the beginning, really would cement their spot at the top of the pecking order.
Now, Trotter went down and she was tripped up. She's slow to get up right on the yellow line. Be a big strawberry there on the turf burn. In fact, Trotter's coming off the pitch right now. That's going to provide a counter opportunity quickly for Central Florida. It got closed up quickly, and there's a foul on Martin. Now, Martin pinned her against the board, but I think once she got the arm extension and took down Maudsley, that's where your whistle comes from.
Yeah, and there was that counter opportunity. So it really, the foul might have been worth it in this situation. As Anna Trotter left the pitch, it left a gaping hole for that counter.
That one will roll up easily to Angel Haley. Haley will roll it out to Cheyenne Smith. Smith up slowly, finds Cat to the left side. Odino Drawn now dribbling. So they've got Tadlock down in the middle along with Sparks. Odino Drawn in the corner. Banks it off the glass, doesn't get the direction she wants. That's going to be a quick clear for Central Florida as Smith will just protect it and let it go all the way down to Haley. No switch here from Memphis. One high hop. Now Sparks steps in front, tries to gain some positioning. Not able to get it over to Tadlock as Smith juggles the ball, can't control it, but Cat quickly down the right boards.
No boarding call as both the players were inside of the dotted area. There wasn't an extension to shove into the area, just a free kick.
And really surprised there was any whistle on that. No real big contact in that. Rules are the rules. Central Florida, they'll come down left wing. It's going to be Medina. Cat takes it away. Little drop step, change direction. Now there's an opportunity if Memphis wanted to push. Could probably make their way up.
They'll rotate at least a half line change out, but that brings out Lauren Odino drawn down the wing.
Trotter back into the game. So Memphis will have it to Odino drawn, and she is face planted down into the turf. Coming up from behind that time looked like Sheridan Street. Quickly sent into the middle. Nothing doing. Big battle for the ball up against the boards.
Yeah, Memphis tried to catch him on a quick line change on the retake, but couldn't convert on that. Memphis with a foul here and a restart for the Crusaders. By the way, Anna Trotter back on the pitch after limping off just a moment ago. She looks like she's going to be fine.
It'll be volleyed all the way down to Angel Haley. So Crahan on the field right now. To the right side. Big push put on here. Whip the left foot. Haley whip the kick save on DePerna. She'll get it back. She'll spread things out. And again, Central Florida is just going to widen things out. They'll go sideline to sideline like last night. Maudsley down the left side. Tries to wrap it around, and they'll wait for the ball just to roll into the arms of Angel Haley. Long throw all the way down to Crahan. Crahan couldn't control it after the initial contact. Drawn. She's going to send it in, looking for Sparks. Loose ball, but it's going to be Newman who picks it up on the second hop.
I think the referee was asking, or the goalkeeper was looking for a high kick call, didn't get it. Now we got a foul along the boards.
Sparks put into the boards that time. She's up and okay. So Cheyenne Smith will take the kick, brings it up now here to Trotter. And that's about the distance right here where she scored from last night. Makes the one move, not a bad thought, able to thread it through the defense, but it's going to be wide to the right.
You saw her look up, didn't you? She knows that's where she scored last night. Tell you what, between Bailey Tadlock and Georget in the men's game, some of these players are not wearing the sliding pants.
Like that's only 2-year-old turf too. It's not as if this old style turf, even though it's new, has a lot of give to it. It's not like they softened it up a season ago.
Yeah, you don't season it. Well, I guess you could season it, but
Trotter to the left side, and they'll work it back to midfield. Memphis, little half-line switch. McGirt cycles back on. So they'll just wait patiently here. Cheyenne Smith will. Feeds it over to Odino Draw, who will play the right side. Lifts it up. McGirt off the back of the head and right into the hands of Newman.
So first 10 minutes or so, Jeff, same tempo as last night?
Maybe a tad quicker, but still shots about the same. Memphis dominating in the shots early on, but yeah, about the same thing you saw last night. This match, as they get Martin pinned against the wall, the foul will be on her. This is going to be a game of patience like it was last night for Memphis. Try to just continue to play defense. Don't give up the goal. Wait for your opportunity.
So Dino drawing. Essentially, this is a corner. It's essentially a corner kick. So Memphis is going to set up as such.
McGirt rotates. They'll go back to Smith. There's the shot, and that may have caught some of the post off the hand of Newman. Long rebound down to Cat on her half of the field. And dribbling with it will be Rodriguez. Nice pass going wide to the right. Looking for DePerna. That ball is going to make its way around just inside the box for Angel Haley. Dino Drawn trying to find some room to work with. She may have it here. It's going to be a foot race. She'll lose that 50-50 battle. That one's sent in the first row.
Yeah, that was a good drive by her. She didn't have anybody to pass to at that point. That was good defense by Central Florida.
Well, Nadino Drawn may be fortunate to walk off. That's always a dangerous play. Niedermeyer and Nadino Drawn go shin to shin.
So that's going to be a restart at the top of the arc, Jeff, because the defender cleared the ball cleanly out of bounds from their own zone.
So Cat looks like she'll take it. You've got Tadlock down there on the right. Here comes Trotter in the game. He'll go just to the left. Here's the follow, and that one just misses, glancing off the hand of Newman. Now, not a bad setup. You get no results of it. But Anna Trotter, again, had another opportunity. Seems a little bit more comfortable. Again, she's a relative newcomer to the team. A little bit more comfortable here this afternoon.
Yeah, she's very much been acclimated to this game very quickly this afternoon. And, of course, making that big contribution last night, that helps as well.
Kerner through traffic to Tadlock. Tadlock hesitates now, makes her way in. Inlet pass is deflected. This is going to be a high bounce for Gonzalez, who's a very dangerous player. 22 goals and 5 assists. With the left foot right to Haley, and you see right there, Gonzalez doesn't need a lot of room or a lot of time. She can put it on net.
Yeah, and I think that was just a hopeful from that distance. That's just hopeful in any league. Easy save for Angel Haley.
The last 7 saves, and again 17 for Newman. Newman, I mean, you can just look on the stat sheet, kept Central Florida in that match, never allowed Memphis to score until late. Cat on misdirection off the head of Niedermeyer, out of bounds. 2.5 minutes to go.
Another restart opportunity this time from the near side. You'll have Molly Martin that will set up near the back post. She's a couple of steps off of the line, and then you've got Vega and Kat at the top of the arc.
They'll rotate. She'll lift it for Martin off the foot, and a goal. What a goal. It settled down just enough to get the one-timer to the right of Newman.
Beautiful scoop pass, and then the drive down low, kept it on target, didn't overhit it, just put it somewhere toward the back post. Beautifully done.
And you could kind of see the frustration early on. They went in the rotation on Dino Drawn, had to wait, but then let me just put a little chip shot in there and see if you can one-time it in.
The old foot wedge.
Yeah. So tonight the Americans will take the lead here in the first quarter of play.
And the way these two teams have been going at it, that might be enough.
Yeah. Well, usually the indoor game, you don't think a goal or two is a big enough lead, but with Angel Haley in net, and if you watched the game last night, you know that's a lead is a lead between two defensive ball clubs like Central Florida and Memphis. Trotter, little stutter on the run-up, moves it over to Smith. Under a minute remaining here in the first quarter, and the Americans with a 1-0 lead. Lifts it. I think she was looking for Sparks. Sparks, of course, last year, famous for those headers facing away from the goal, but just lifted that one a little bit too high for her.
Will forever live in Memphis Americans' lore from that. Generations from now will recall Kristen Sparks with the no-look headers.
Off to the sideline, 30 seconds left. Across the field of play to Perna.
Speaking of, Kristen Sparks putting on pressure in the neutral zone.
Far corner, they've got an opportunity here with just over 10 seconds to go. Now Sparks. See if Memphis can get the clear, and they will. Crahan will watch it down, but that's going to end the first quarter. Gets away a little bit, but time will run out. May have a foul before the run of play ends.
Which is important play because as those cumulative totals inch toward 8, that could come into play later in this match. Not much into it. Looked like maybe the turf gremlin got her instead of Crahan, but nonetheless foul called, and we're at the end of the first quarter.
Specializing in luxury real estate, the Haynes Group can help you find your dream home when it comes to time for you to buy or to sell. Check them out for all your realty needs. Again, that is the Haynes Group, proud partners of the Memphis Americans. Through one quarter, 1-0 Memphis.
Your best choice in pest control, call James Pest Management, 367-2007.
Well, getting ready for the second quarter here from the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi. Jeff Bridle alongside Tim Van Horn. Not a lot of shots, Tim. 5-2 between these clubs. Again, a little bit like last night, keeping the majority of that possession in the middle third. It's two teams built on defense, so you want to expect a lot of scoring in this one. But with the numbers advantage, we'll see if Memphis tries to press a little bit, and here they come right off the bat. Martin scores. Well, there you go. Push on and push up.
What were you saying?
Throw a shot on net.
That's a beautiful far post goal. The attempted kick save, nothing she could do about that unless she just lays out across the goal there. But Molly Martin, too much on that beautiful goal. Memphis up 2-0, matching last night's total already. Early second quarter.
Well, you got the number one goalkeeper from a season ago at Angel Haley. Your defense has given up 32 goals. That is it in 10 games. Like, you got 3 quarters to play, but you got to feel pretty solid with the defense you have in front of Haley. Then if they get past it, what Haley can do between the posts.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this case, it's just limit mistakes.
So Cattle on the back line.
So here's the question, Jeff. I know this is early on, and it's 2-0.
Memphis pushes again. Tadlock.
But given the low scoring tendency between these two teams and the fact that Central Florida does have a short bench, at what point do they have to start pressing and picking up the tempo and weighing risk and reward?
Yeah. A collision over there, and it looks like Alexis Cat is up against the boards. Cat went down in last night's game, came back into the match, and she'll rotate off here as Martin, the goal scorer, from a minute to go, comes back in. Let's take another look at the contact. And just kind of get, well, let's just face, let's just put it out as she got run over by Rodriguez.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. Nothing malicious there. There's a drive, Jeff. That one hung up for a moment.
The follow and a double poster, that time from Martin, nearly had a second goal, nearly had a brace early on. That time Tadlock lost her footing. I think if you're Central Florida and you can keep this thing a 2 to 3 goal game, you don't really try to press maybe until third quarter. You got to keep your legs out there. Maybe some late in the second quarter because you know you're at least going to have that 10-minute break.
Yeah, critical next couple of minutes, though, against Memphis here.
Martin sends it high, had a one-time opportunity.
Jeff, I think Memphis is starting to feel it here. They're starting to ratchet up the pressure, and I think, for Central Florida, if they don't have to take risks until a little bit later in the match, that might be a good thing. But at this point, if Memphis continues with this offensive pressure, it may be dictated to them.
Central Florida trying to get a counterattack opportunity. Here's Rodriguez, right wing. Rodriguez trying to send it through the middle. That's going to be headed out. Thought Rodriguez honestly was going to take the shot. Haley diving and off the foot of DePerna. Looked innocent enough to dump it into the corner, but it's had some spin and took a little bit of a left-hand turn.
Yeah, Angel Haley had to go down and grab that one off of the turf, as that one was too close to the near post to take a chance on.
Yeah, bit on that turf. That was headed really for the dasher boards to the left of Haley before it stuck on the spin.
So Memphis will walk it up.
Drawn into the corner, banks it off, no one home. Now it's just going to be sent downfield. Haley into the corner, will wait on it.
Easily breaks the first line as there was nobody in the midfield to mark Odino drawn.
Crahan, long range shot, Newman to her right. Picks up another nice save.
Yeah, good set of hands there, good distribution too. Quickly on the break for Central Florida.
Corner that time, it's going to be Smith, puts the body into her. She'll be whistled for the foul as she got into the back of Gonzalez. And if you're going to mark somebody for Central Florida, it's Gonzalez. 22 goals. Now, Rowan's got 15 and DePerna with 12, but Gonzalez is the one that can really make things happen. A little bit like Tobias, she also can pick up a few assists as well.
A little bit better angle than a corner kick for Central Florida. Some options here.
Well, that's stuck on the foot of Tadlock. Bosley goes into the corner. She'll get it back high, deliver it over to DePerna. Shot opportunity goes high, and on the turn that time, Rowan Stafford had a chance, probably figuring, I just need to turn and fire here. If she settles the ball just a split second more, she's probably got at least a shot on target.
Absolutely, and she has a better chance to even pick her spot. At that point, I think it may have even had a little bit of a bobble, which is why she launched it up into the crowd.
Out the foot of Martin, and Tadlock can't control it. Under 10 minutes to go here in the opening half. 2-0 Memphis American lead. So Martin got the second goal early in the second quarter on the very first possession. 2-on-1, a swing and a miss by Medina, excuse me. Had it there and took just enough of a hop. Pulled old Charlie Brown.
Did you say Madonna?
No.
Oh, she scored a lot.
Yeah. 9:14 left in the opening half. Big collision at the boards, no whistle.
Oh, they got numbers, Jeff.
Tadlock delivers it again to Martin. Now, Martin wanted to stop it. Put the foot down, ball rolled out from under her foot. She may have had a nice run there from the corner had she been able to make that stop. Just kind of let it scoot up under the turf shoe. Long and off the crossbar from, here's the follow just to the right side. Still loose. Martin was waiting for the windup. Big collision there from Smith. And now we get a little extracurricular from Smith. She gets tied up with Niedermeyer. On a little post scrum comment from Cheyenne Smith.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. There's the rollover takedown. I think Smith is on all fours. They're trying to get up, not to press the issue, but you know, if you're the player on the bottom, you want to get up and you want to get up now. And now we've got a blue card. It looks like maybe coincidental minors on this. Each team's going to have someone serve 2 minutes.
We had this situation last night, and I think it was Niedermeyer last night. I can't remember who it was on for Memphis, but had to serve double minors.
So this is probably going to be Cheyenne Smith if there's going to be someone serving.
Well, and Niedermeyer blows a kiss. I don't know if it's to her bench or
might be family here.
Yeah, or to Cheyenne. But Niedermeyer's going to go into the penalty box. Corey Adamson just wants a little clarification as we see Cheyenne Smith make her way over.
Well, this should be interesting because there's no partition separating the teams in the penalty box. Only TJ Cates, Michael Carson, and the wife of one of the team owners.
I would, tell our staff back in the production room, keep a camera fixed over there as a little talking going on. You may just keep it here for the next 2 minutes.
Eric Phillips asking them to settle down. But listen, sticks and stones can break bones, but words can never hurt, Eric. Just let them chat it up.
DePerna to the right side. Gonzalez tries a little bit of a spin move, lost her balance.
Good no call by Mr. Phillips.
High again, that's Rowan Stafford. Moves it over right side to DePerna. A little 4-on-4. Opens up a little bit of spacing for the clubs. Perna drops it down to the corner. Gonzalez turns. That one off the leg of Odino drawn. High bank off the glass, headed back toward Haley, but cleared by Memphis. And I thought the fan was going to get away with the just keep it going. Just keep playing.
It's like the beach ball.
Yes. Quickly back into action here. About a minute gone on these double minors before we get back to 5-on-5. Maudsley off the foot of Tadlock. Tadlock pushes off, and now we're getting it again. It's Rowan Stafford and Tadlock. And Tadlock extended the arm, pushed her. She'll get whistled for the foul. No, it is actually going to be on Rowan Stafford. Yeah. Held her first, and then Tadlock kind of. Yeah, I don't even know if that was Tadlock's arm that got extended. I think it was just Rowan Stafford's arm.
Yeah, I think she got called for the arm bar.
That'll go out of bounds.
Minors should be wrapping up here in just a second.
Smith and Niedermeyer look like they're getting ready to hop the boards to get back in. Down the Dashers. That ball gets loose. Gonzalez into the corner. And it's going to be Kerner who pins her up against the boards. They try to go high in the middle.
I think that was a retaliatory shot from Lauren Odino drawn.
And Niedermeyer on. Here comes Smith. So we're back to 5-on-5.
And now Memphis is going to be a player short after this. Here, check this out. Watch Odino drawn at the bottom of your screen. Comes out of nowhere. I think she took exception to a previous play and.
Yeah, got both arms up. Yeah. Took her off her feet. So Lauren Odino drawn going to the penalty box. 2-minute power play coming up, and timeout has been called. We'll take the break as well. We've got 5:57 remaining here in the opening half of play. The Memphis Americans with a 2-0 lead over the Central Florida Crusaders. Power play coming up for the Crusaders in just a moment. This is the NISL. 2-0, and it's going to be a power play for the Central Florida Crusaders coming up with Odino drawn in the box after the penalty right before the timeout. Now, who you got to watch for is going to be Gonzalez. She's on the far right of your screen talking to one of the officials. That's the dangerous player to see, and it looks like they're starting to look at her. If she crashes down from the yellow line, that's who they like to get the ball to. And they do. The Gonzalez one-timer. Boy, that just hammered Anna Trotter, who nearly doubled up. Loose ball, Haley down on the ground. Memphis desperately trying to get the clearance, and they will. And now Memphis a 3-on-2 opportunity. And it looks like Odino Drawn going to get the major because we are at 5-on-5 here.
So they have called that a yellow card.
Yeah.
It was a yellow card for the push.
So no power play, just a major. So Odino Drawn just not eligible for the next 5 minutes. So after the timeout, they went back and looked at it. Here's a shot deflected out to the right side.
Hannah Trotter, good header there, but yeah, Memphis again.
Into the corner now. Trotter has it. Trying to screen it off of Haley. It'll be a one-hopper. That is loose, and Haley will grab that ball. So it doesn't let anything to develop that time. Now Memphis will look at a line change. They've got someone breaking ahead. That may be Sparks, but here is Martin. Goes high and wide to Smith, and they'll back it up. Kerner will just walk it up. You've got Crahan working line to line down low. Crahan to the right of Smith, just off screen. Just dumped it in there. I'm not sure if she thought Martin was going to move over to the side for a misdirection or not. Just kind of innocently dumped it in.
Yeah, I think she zigged when she actually zagged on that one for sure. So Memphis will be without Lauren Odino Drawn until I believe it was the 57-second mark remaining in the first half. But as you mentioned, with that major penalty, it's a 5-on-5 out in the field.
Waiting for the trailer. And that is Street a little bit behind it, and that one lifted high the crossbar by Medina.
Headsy play by Elizabeth Vega to head that to the side and out of danger, buying a little bit of time to let Cheyenne Smith dump that out to Martin.
A little push in the back, but Martin still comes up with it. If she can make one move, may have the opportunity of leaving it out. It's going to be a foot race, and Newman just able to get ahead of Crahan and clear it.
This might be the longest break that Lauren Odino Drawn has had in her professional career, to be off the pitch for 5 minutes, because she and, of course, last year Kelsey Keown, they, if one wasn't out there, the other one certainly was.
So far, 5 saves for Newman this afternoon, and for Haley, she's picked up 4 saves. Wrapping it around, left up front. McGirt closest there. To the far side. That time, Trotter able to deliver some contact. Looks like Street with her back toward the net. McGirt flips it over to the corner. 50-50, and Sparks to the right side.
Yeah.
Padlock now just clears it.
Yeah, that was a crucial touch just to get that out of the lane, because that was definitely in prime shooting position. Just even a touch anywhere else would have done. Great job by Kristen Sparks.
Under 2.5 to go here, and again a 2-0 lead for the Americans. Usually 2-0, you don't think much of it, but the defense, the top defense in the league, and arguably your best goalkeeper for a second season in a row. 2 goals. Pretty stout right now as Trotter sends it out. Now Trotter gets the takeaway. Has Martin ahead on a 2-on-3. Martin in the corner, Trotter into the box. That pass just led too much.
Oh, if she hits Tadlock in stride, she's got that set up on a platter.
Well, you got options. You had Tadlock straight away. You had Trotter unguarded over to the left. They look for Martin again, but that pass leads her too much. Tadlock just sends it down the boards. Minute 30 remaining. That ball headed out of bounds. I'll tell you what, Central Florida's done a nice job here in the second quarter. Last night they were outshot severely, but they're outshooting Memphis in the second. And it's just an 8-6 advantage for the Americans here this afternoon. I believe it was 20-7 last night was the advantage for the Americans.
Much closer in this match, and we're coming up on the end of the 5 minutes for Odino Drawn. The question is, will she be able to run out there? I think she may have to stay until one player runs off or there's a stoppage of play, and now she may get her chance.
And that wasn't violent contact by any means, but McGurk's got that left arm already bandaged up. She went right down on top of it.
Here's a good look at it, Jeff.
Just a little contact. Yeah.
Good trap by Eric Phillips, though, as the ball was blasted his way. The referee.
So now with that stoppage of play, Odino Drawn able to get out of the box.
And is she on the – no, surprisingly, she's not on the pitch to finish out the half.
Kerner leaves it for Haley. Back to Kerner. One-on-one that time with Medina. They'll look to the left side, trying to find Crahan. Got taken away. Going to be a high hop. Haley gets back before it bounces over her head. We have a whistle behind the play. Someone got on to Maudsley, it looked like.
Yeah, there's a foul at midfield. It's a good call by Eric Phillips. He let the play finish out to see what would happen. It's going to bring that back here with just over half a minute to go. A goal either way could really shift momentum heading into the third quarter.
31 seconds remaining. Well, now here's where you're talking, Tim, early when it became a 2-0 game early in the second quarter. Here's where if you're Central Florida, 24 seconds left, just race ahead and start firing on the net at will here. Here's where you take your chances. Martin.
She's got time if she can move.
Crahan with the header. That got around, and Newman's going to pick it up easily, and that should end the first half. Down to 5 seconds remaining. Down the boards, and that will end the opening half of play. Somewhat similar to last night, Tim. A lot of possession between these two clubs, but let's face it, it's two teams right now built on defense. They're playing their games. 2 goals, pretty stout with the best defense, the best keeper in the league, but you know, you have some unlucky bounces here or there, and the Crusaders could get this thing leveled up pretty quick.
Yeah, 2 goals won it last night. Now the question is, will 2 goals win it today? 30 minutes in the books and 30 minutes to go.
And now is a great time to give a shout-out to our Jersey sponsor, HSE Agency, specializing in sports and entertainment marketing. HSE Agency offers a full range of integrated services built to work together to provide unmatched value and access in areas of partnerships, marketing, creative, and consulting. Whatever your sports and entertainment needs are, HSE Agency is ready to help you succeed. Through a half of play, the Americans lead the Crusaders 2-0. We'll be back for the second half. This is the NISL.
Can I have your attention, ladies and gentlemen? We're honored today to have Miss Tracy Jarrett, and she is a school teacher. How about a big round of applause for what she does for a living for our children? Tracy, where do you teach school?
Walnut Ridge Middle School.
Walnut Ridge, Arkansas?
Middle school. Yeah.
Walnut Ridge Middle School. All right, she and her daughter, Megan, are going to compete to see who wins today the prize. 2 free tickets to the next game here. All right, the rules of the game are, we're going to say 3, 2, 1, go. You guys are going to run to the shorts, put the shorts on. You're going to run to the shirt, put the shirt on. You're going to run to the soccer ball and kick it in the goal, and the first one that wins is the winner. Is everybody ready? Are you ready, Tracy? Are you ready, Megan? Are you ready, crowd? Are you ready, Tim Van Horn? All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, give them a hey, y'all holler for them. Tell them how to do it. Tell them how to do it. All right, shirts next. Shirts next. All right, go, go, go. First one's the winner. And Megan is your winner. Hey, all the way over here from the big city of Jonesboro, Arkansas, it's Tracy Jarrett and her daughter, Megan. And they're both the winners. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for all the way here from Jonesboro, Arkansas, mother and daughter team. They're going to split the money here. We're going to pay them out back so nobody will see it. Hey, hold on. Hold on. Tell me what you just told him. Tell me what you just said. She said she did awful. I think you did that just to let your daughter win. I mean, that's what a mother will do. How about another round of applause for our competition today? All right, who wants a soccer ball? All right, who wants a soccer ball right here? Get some more. Get some more, Tracy. Get some more and throw them up there, Tracy. Go ahead, throw some more. They got plenty.
Well, about ready for second half action here from the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi. Jeff Brightwood alongside Tim Van Horn. And don't forget, when you're not at a game but are looking for game day eats, check out one of the great partners, 10th Inning Bar and Grill, Snowden Grove. They've got a menu that'll go the distance, whether it's extra innings, overtime, or a pregame. Check them out. Tell them thanks for supporting the Memphis Americans. Well, 2-goal lead, pretty big when you've got the number one defense, best goalkeeper in the league. But as we talked about before we went to the break, Tim, whether it's skill or formation or not, it takes a couple of bounces here or there to get the match leveled up for Central Florida.
Yeah, if they could just scratch one here in the third quarter, I think that will ratchet up the pressure on Memphis and may put some wind in the sails of the Crusaders. And as it stands right now, Jeff, as we mentioned before the game, Memphis has played 2 fewer games than Central Florida. They have a 7-3 record. Central Florida 7-5. So rather than this be an opportunity to play catch-up, which it won't be since they're both playing at the same time, it is a chance to put Memphis a little bit ahead, even further, of Central Florida. But also, let's not forget, not too far in the distance, you've got Tampa Bay at 6-6, and you've got Columbus at 5-5, who still conceivably could have a go at this in the final weeks of the regular season as we are underway here. Second half action, the Memphis Americans men won the first match. The women looking to complete the sweep here, lead this one 2-0.
Well, still a very, as you mentioned, the standings, still a wide open playoff race from top to bottom. Molly Martin, pair of goals in the opening half. Odino drawn. Here's the shot that'll get deflected. They were looking to go to the right of Haley. Launch back up by Gonzalez. That'll be over the crossbar and out of bounds.
Well, and as you mentioned a moment ago, there's a shot right there that's deflected off a player. You take any kind of quirky bounce into a goal, and just like that, it becomes a one-possession game.
A long throw to the left side looking for Vega. Not a good. Launched up behind the benches. Underway here in the second half. Memphis, regardless of what happens, this match is going to stay in first place. They would like to get some spacing. That would give them a 3-game lead if Memphis hangs on in the loss column. And for all practical purposes, 2 matches left, you just take care of business so you can grab that number 1 seed. Martin got spun around.
Now Memphis pressing 3. Central Florida is able to break.
Throwing to the near side. That'll get broken up by Smith.
It's nicely cut out by Anna Trotter.
Well, again, we talk about Trotter being a newcomer. Got that game-time goal last night. Again, her frame, she took a big hit in the opening half. Took some hits last night. You got to admire the toughness, though. Every time she gets banged around, she's back up, coming at it. And the more minutes she gets in this league, of this organization, she'll get a little bit more comfortable. Looks infinitely more comfortable than last night. Gonzalez tried to poke it over the head of Haley Dead, but sent it wide. That's one of their best opportunities.
Yeah, that was something out of nothing, and a nice first touch to put it over Angel Haley. Just didn't have the accuracy.
Gonzalez again, a little more zip on that one, and Haley has it.
Nice easy save for Angel Haley, head high, right into the mitts.
Haley launches that one. That'll roll off the back of Sparks. Crahan giving chase. Now Newman just swinging on around left side to Niedermeyer.
Good read by Crahan. Oh!
Turn off the crossbar that time by Crahan, and a 3-goal lead would have been gigantic. Pretty much with the best defense in the league. Could have likely sealed the deal early in the second half. Through traffic, and here comes Trotter again. Waiting to the right side, Crahan now. Wanted to go right side. A little push after that. Got into Maudsley. Off the glass. Tadlock. Leaves it. Here's a chance for Sparks, and that's punched high by Newman. Trotter to the near corner. Gets it back to Sparks. Tadlock's calling for the ball on the right side of the field. She'll receive the ball now. Has a chance. Her defender went down. She'll wind up. Here's the shot off the crossbar again. Trotter, now Crahan. Took a pretty stiff hit that time before they're finally able to clear it and the ball gets out of bounds. All 2 crossbars there on 1 possession.
That could have been the ball game right there if either one of those 2 goes in. But Central Florida hanging around here, avoiding the 3rd goal here with 11:20 to go in the 3rd.
Well, Memphis works left side of the field. Odino drawn. It'll give and go. Odino drawn. The one-timer is wide to the left of Newman. The follow finds it's targeted, and it's a 3-goal lead for the Memphis Americans.
I think she got the assist on it. I think she gave herself the assist off of that. It's a good hustle play.
Side of the glass. Smart thing, she didn't rush it, Tim. Got it off the chest, settled it down just enough to throw it on target.
Yeah, calmly taken and good finish in high and at the back post. Well done.
Drawing her 5th goal. She had the game winner last night. So 2nd goal of this homestand. And again, 5th overall for Lauren Odino drawn. As Martin has the other 2. Now 3-goal lead. Very, very big in this game. Just 10.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd. Still a lot of time, but the way these 2 teams play. As the relatively new owner of the Memphis Americans, they're giving it the old heave-ho over the glass.
Yeah. I think he was a little too close to the glass on that one. Didn't
have the angle.
Yeah, didn't have the angle. He had the power. Should have had the distance.
Back out right side. Now, here's something you were talking about early in that 2nd quarter. Now you're at the point, if you're Central Florida, now you're just going to have to roll. It doesn't matter if you get beat by 3 or by 10. You're going to have to make a lot more riskier moves. Here's Martin looking for the hat trick. Kick save by Newman. McGirt, who went down falling on that left arm that's bandaged up heavily late in the 1st half, back out on the field. But if you're Tom Traxler, just got to roll the dice.
Yeah, you send them out there and you just go as hard as you can. And make those shifts and try to set yourself up for efficient line changes whenever possible. But you do have to put the pedal to the metal at this point.
Off to the right. Medina, and that's just through past Haley and just wide of the post. Gonzalez draws the double team quickly. A smart play by Memphis. I'm sure Corey Adamson has it designed that way. Once she touched the ball, try to get that 2nd body and marker.
And now here's Martin. Oh, a little bit of backspin. I think she had to hold up with that, but she does have help.
She's got Tadlock to her right and on the left. Crahan closing and another kick save by Newman.
Vega with some good work along the near side, Jeff, fighting through 2 defenders. She has no help at that point, though.
And Vega trying to work the glass. Didn't have the angle to get it to Martin, who was hanging out there, and then Tadlock on the backside. Vega applies a little bit more pressure. Martin steps in front. Tadlock's in the center. Couldn't get the one-timer. Settles it. Banks it off glass. Trotter heads it toward net. High hop into the hands of Vega. See what Tadlock can do with it. Settles it down. One-timer. That time she just kind of capped it on top. Martin did. Well, Memphis keeps possession there. Central Florida had a chance for a clear. They opted not to just send it down the dasher boards. Memphis happy with that decision. Trotter goes across the middle. You got Sparks on the right. They'll send it to Trotter. Trotter off boards. They can't get a counterattack. Kerner works it back into the defensive 3rd for Central Florida. She'll keep possession. Finds Odino drawn toward the corner. Coming over is DePerna. Has a little 50-50 going on. Now here comes Rowan Stafford to help out. 2-on-1 there for Memphis. Kerner turns. Has Sparks right side. Get Vega going through the middle. That is loose. Newman dives. She cannot catch up with it. And that's a 4-goal lead now for the Memphis Americans. And I know it's early to say it, Tim, with under 7 minutes in the 3rd quarter. That may be the nail in the coffin. Went right between Newman's legs.
Who gets credit for that? Was that Vega?
I believe Vega. It was, yeah.
Vega. Well,
I don't think Odino drawn touch it until it went across the line.
And that was all that was all built up by Memphis continuing to put pressure in the attacking third and making Central Florida suffer every time that they took possession. They made it nearly impossible to clear it out of their own defensive zone, let alone get it into the neutral zone. And that constant pressure wore Central Florida down and then finally got the goal. But here's Central Florida with a chance to, let's see how they react here, Jeff. They're down 4 goals, a goal-scoring opportunity here coming up. And I think they're going to try to set something up here and take a break and think it over.
Vega, before we get a break, the official goal scorer unassisted. It's Vega's first goal, and it comes at the 7-minute mark in the third quarter. Free kick coming up for Central Florida. They're down 4-0. 6:04 to go in the third as you watch the NISL. For 4-0 Memphis as a free kick coming up here for Central Florida. Central Florida needing a goal pretty bad right now. Trying to give themselves some opportunity once they make it into the fourth. Gonzalez with the left foot rolls, deflected out along the back line. Never made it to Angel Haley. Second off glass, no one in the middle. They clear it. They look over to Martin. She'll send it wide left side, and that's going to be punted straight up into the air by Crahan. Yeah, Memphis does a nice job. They don't really let it get to Haley, and they turn Central Florida away again. They keep the 4-goal lead.
Yeah, Cheyenne Smith in front of Haley, basically cleaning up anything that comes in. Now Central Florida will reset and work it up again here.
Well, one thing Central Florida's done, they've kept and that was just high of Haley again. Nice strike from the right side. One thing they've done, they've been a little more aggressive. The shot differential a lot closer, 13-9 and the 20-7 it was in last night's 2-1 win for the Americans. Back over to Trotter. Trotter has that little hitch when she brings it up, a little stutter step at times. Crahan rolled over the ball that time, lost the balance just enough for Central Florida to bring it out. Back is Smith. Smith tried to heel it off the back, but Gonzalez knew that was coming. She'll have to work her way out of it.
We may have persistent infringement. Is this 8? I think that's going to be.
I believe a little grabbing there draws the whistle. Trying to grab the jersey.
So that'll put the Memphis Americans on the power play.
Smith worked out of it. Yeah, grabbed the jersey there just enough. Wasn't very long, but enough the officials saw it, so now you get your 2-minute power play.
So Memphis could truly make this an extremely steep climb for Central Florida as power play gets underway here late in the third quarter. So it'll be Cheyenne Smith walking it up for Memphis. They allow her all the way up to the yellow line unopposed.
Trotter, that may have hit the hand. There's the whistle. That got off the hand. I believe that was Rowan Stafford. Hit her in the lower forearm. Unintentional, but if it's off the hand, it's off the hand. So they'll line things up. Odino drawn. Smith goes wide to her right. There goes Trotter wide to her left. They've got 2 down on each post. They'll rotate Stafford out. Smith goes in motion. Odino drawn goes on net. It's deflected by DePerna. She'll get it clear, and that'll bring you down to close to a minute on the power play. By the time Memphis is able to get things going down, Trotter goes down behind the play, and Trotter gets back up, able to send it across the field of play, and Tadlock got just a brief touch on it. Martin pinned against the boards, and now Smith will gain control of it. That's what you want. You don't necessarily need to push it up with a lot of urgency on the power play. You just need to get control at midfield and let your offense set things up.
And for Memphis too, you're also burning clock here, and you've got a short bench with Central Florida. If you can pin them down, that's going to be an issue. Oh, casual one-timer by Molly Martin. Not a bad idea. Right at the keeper though.
Looking for the hat trick, and that's just thrown down the field to run some time as Smith will settle it down. 25 seconds left here on the power play. Smith now goes to the left side, and they'll switch. Trotter goes over the right. Long distance, just throwing it in there, see if there can be some sort of a deflection. There was none. DePerna couldn't come out, and Trotter steps up. Martin's got it with the left foot, and that's going to be banked hard off Niedermeyer's leg. Mosley an opportunity, but can't weave between 2 defenders.
Good team defending.
Back at full strength. Power play's over. So Medina is back on the field. Under 2.5 minutes to go here in the third, and the Americans with a 4-goal lead that seems a lot bigger than that. As Odino drawn, taken off her feet. McGirt checks back in. Tadlock off the field. So here's Trotter. Winds up. That one had a little bit of rise on it. Martin will take it. Trotter now accelerating just a little bit. Gives it up. 3-on-1 opportunity if they can make the turn. That Memphis defense collapses back quickly. Martin was on top. Never let that counterattack develop.
And that's been a hallmark throughout this match, Jeff. The reaction of when they've given the ball over to go back and quickly within a second and a half to go get it and return the favor. And that paid good dividends for Memphis there as they got themselves out of a 3-on-1 bind.
Here's McGirt. Gonzalez will come in front, rides her off the ball. A little hit check into the boards, and that one will go around the dashers right to Newman. No pressure that time on Newman. They'll easily work it up to Bondsley along the left boards. Soft touch, dumps it in the corner, no one home. Soft follow shot, Memphis able. They'll just send it in the midfield, and right now, that's all you got to do. Under a minute to go, 4-goal lead here in the third quarter. Really, at this point, Memphis doesn't need consistent possession. They just need to keep it out of their defensive third.
Exactly, yeah. There's a drive, and that'll be a giveaway right back to Memphis. The men take the first match. The women on pretty close to cruise control at this point, lead 4-0. As we've seen spells where Central Florida has put some pressure on Memphis, but they have not been able to sustain it over long terms. And Memphis now here with shots in the third period, 8-3 in favor of the home side. That's got to be a bit demoralizing too if you're the road team. Is not only are you getting shut out, you're just not even getting really any chances to take a crack at Angel Haley.
Yeah, it was just 4-shot differential, but it's starting to grow now. 16-9 differential, so 7 more shots for Memphis. And that's starting to grow. Well, the third quarter ends here at the Lander Center in South Haven. It is all Memphis right now by a score of 4-0. Our partners at Hills Brothers Professional Cleaning Services work to provide clients with a personalized janitorial and professional cleaning experience. This local family-run business can help with all of your commercial and residential cleaning needs throughout Memphis and the tri-state area. Give them a call or check them out online at hillsbrosclean.com. 4-0 Americans. We're back for the fourth quarter. This is the NISL.
You're about to enjoy one of the most iconic, award-winning barbecue meals in the country.
Underway in the fourth quarter for the Landers Center in South Haven. Memphis with a 4-0 lead. Trying to make it a quick 5. Martin with the wind up, the shot and the goal, and that should pretty much do it. Molly Martin with a hat trick. Looking through the goggles and makes it a 5-0 lead.
She said, I'll take it. When you take it, you've got to take it. She took it. What a drive.
Now less than 30 seconds into the fourth quarter. And if there was any doubt at 4-0, the 5-goal lead with the best defense and best goalkeeper in the league should pretty much secure this match for Memphis.
You would think so, and given the fact that you haven't seen much in the way of shots on goal from the Crusaders in the first place. Memphis has been very strong in reacting with good team defense.
Off to the right side now into the corner. Banks it off. There's Alexis Cat. Ball gets loose. Haley dives on top of it. Slow rolls it out to her left, and Smith grows across the field to Tadlock. Tadlock battles 1v1 there at the midfield circle. Rowan Stafford up against the boards. Now you're at the point where Memphis just don't make mistakes, play solid, stay in your lanes, get the clearances, don't have to have a lot of possession, get the clearances when they offer themselves. Cat got banged against the board there, and that'll be a foul on the Crusaders.
And I think just as importantly, you challenge yourself as a team to keep the goose egg up on the scoreboard.
That's Crahan trying to get loose. Crahan will go down into the middle. Sparks is now in the corner. Sparks thought someone may have been up the boards, no one at home, and lifted that one high and out of bounds regardless if someone was there.
No, it looked like little sister wanted to help put the ball back into play there.
Crahan with the left foot. Misdirection in, and that's a 6-0 lead now for the Memphis Americans. It looked like it was misdirected by Odino Drawn.
Let's see here. This will be hopefully a good look here. If it was off of Odino Drawn, it was off of her left shoe. Hard to tell from that angle, but I think it did at least mix the goalkeeper up with at least it being a dummy. But I think you're right, Jeff. I think it did get her a boot.
And now it's a point now. You're looking at 12-15 and rolling. You're up 6-0 now. Now you just continue. Now you're just playing for goal differential at the end of the season. Look, if you win this game, you got a 3-game lead over Central Florida, and that's depending on how the rest of the league winds up this weekend around the NISL, and you've got 2 games left. I'm not going to try to do the math, but first place is yours to have here before the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's a nice piece to have. Obviously, you want to win the championship tournament in and of itself, but you always want to take pride in winning the marathon too and set yourself up with the seeding.
Left side, that's Kerner. Gonzalez takes it. Quick shot, and that rattles around. That was crossbar and post. Play goes on. Orlando doesn't ask, or Central Florida doesn't ask to see if that somehow went inside the goal line, but that went crossbar to post.
Wow, yeah, that one pinballed around. I'm not sure Angel Haley knew much about it, as that one just came in ripped from the near side.
Kerner sends it out wide right side. Back to Kerner. Now Memphis just going to play possession ball here. 6-goal lead. Memphis is going to get their 8th win of the season, barring the comeback of the ages as Trotter takes it. In fact, Memphis is going to go a little bit to a 2-1-2, put Trotter in the middle. And they'll just dump it into the corner to McGirt. McGirt high off glass, ball is left loose, punted away by Niedermeyer. Follow is good, and hey, how about I got a hat trick, and now I'll take that 4th one.
Dear Lord, Molly, you got to ease up on that. Some people have a family to think about. She blasted that one.
High toward the upper 90, and Molly Martin, a 4-goal game.
She knocked the stew out of that one, Jeffrey. I'll tell you.
Well, Americans having fun now. It was tight going to the latter part of the 3rd quarter, but the Americans have opened this game up.
And you know it's a hard shot when I call you by your formal name, too. That never happens. Only when you're pulled over by police or there's a hard shot.
That's right. So they'll bring it back to Smith, sends it over to Cat. Well, now it's an opportunity also for Corey Adamson if he wanted to experiment, give some people some opportunities, push some maybe his midfielders, some people to the back. If they've got to make us, you don't ever know what can occur before the playoff run. If you got to put people out of position, move them up and see what can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a shot. Well-positioned Angel Haley there to collect. Yeah, you get an opportunity to get a look at maybe some things you don't normally have a luxury of doing.
Now Smith on the left side. Goes along the boards. Got it to Vega, and they'll reverse direction right side of McGirt. McGirt up high to Vega again. Vega sends it back to Cat. Under 9 minutes remaining here, 7-0 Memphis Americans. Smith will take it. Makes a long shot, and that one rises high of the goal. So Martin with goals, 2:04 in the first quarter, 14:46 of the second quarter. Early in the 4th at 14:35, then punches her 4th in at 10:29. Lauren Odino drawing a nice game too. A goal and 2 assists here this afternoon for Lauren Odino drawing as they'll get a switch out here.
Hard collision here.
Wow.
No malice in it, but still doesn't make it hurt any less. No penalty called on that for the foul. Just possession will go back to Central Florida. Don't forget, folks, you can check out the schedule for the Memphis. They will serve a 2-minute penalty for the accumulation, though.
Right.
And Odino Drawn will go to the box. Don't forget, folks, you can check out the future schedule. You can also look around the league and look at some of the great swag and so much more at MemphisAmericans.com. That's MemphisAmericans.com. You can have your tickets before you even show up at the door.
Now, couldn't get it through here. Short-handed. Now Memphis trying to get the clearance, and here comes Trotter. Kept her balance. Trotter might have a chance of a one-on-one, and Newman with the slide save.
And now the goalkeeper, Newman, is hurting. Oh. I don't know if she pulled something, but she is not well.
She's calling for the bench now. She's calling for the referee to come over and stop play.
She just did she give a thumbs up, or did she give a wave over? I'm with
thumbs
you.
Up.
Okay.
Caught her, may have had the wind knocked out of her, but caught her breath. I've been impressed in 2 games from what Trotter did last night, got the goal, and the progression of Trotter here this afternoon. Rolls to Haley. Haley just says, you go get it. I'm gonna run some clock.
Absolutely. Well, Memphis is with the penalty kill. No need for them to decompress here. Let Central Florida do some of the work.
Rowan Stafford moves it to the left side. Still the power play is on. He goes high off the boards to the right side. Rowan Stafford really didn't get much on that one. Now Kerner just going to screen it and hang on to it. Back up the midfield. Gonzalez with the left foot misses wide to the left of Haley. Tadlock turns and clears.
It's a left-footed blast.
Yeah. Off right side, Rowan Stafford.
Hey, not a bad idea. Throw it into the mixer and see what happens.
Back to full strength, power play over. That goes wide. Central Florida just trying to pepper the goal on the power play. Well, Central Florida was in second place, so we'll see where they land after the weekend action. They'll have to kind of regroup. If they don't get on the board in the last 6 minutes, you're going to play a weekend with just one goal.
Yeah, and here's an opportunity to maybe pick up something. They've got Memphis pinned down. It's been an extended time without a line change for Corey Adamson's team. They still haven't had a chance to switch out. We'll see if they try to at least attempt a half line change. They still can't do that. So good work by Central Florida keeping Memphis pinned down. Let's see if they can make something out of it.
At this point, if you're Memphis and you just get a foot on the ball, you're just as well served to just kick it out of bounds. Instead, Odino drawn. If she can just dump it into the corner, passes up the opportunity. She'll hop out and get a switch. She saw the opportunity.
Yeah.
She said, I want to hop over here and take a break.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It's like, I'm taking a break here. Best of luck to the rest of you.
I fully expected her to just dump in the corner and then get a 5 for 5.
Just like ice hockey.
Trotter throws it over in the corner. Crahan, she'll match up with Niedermeyer.
Instead of the dump and chase, it's the drop and split.
Yes, that's exactly what she did. I'll dump it in, instead of dumping it in the corner and giving everybody a rest, I'll kick it back to you and I'll hop out. That's Martin. Thought she might fire on it for 5. Instead, she gives it up to the right side. And Memphis extends the lead. It's going to be Vega. She scored her first goal of the season earlier. She's now got 2.
Wow, a beautiful shot from the near side. She blasts it far post. Wow, beautiful, beautiful teamwork by the Memphis Americans, now extending that lead to 8-0. And to Memphis's credit, it doesn't feel like that they are running up the score. Central Florida has had Memphis pinned down. They've had opportunities to strike back. Memphis has not owned the lion's share of possession here in the last 5 minutes.
And you got to give credit to Molly Martin. Martin was up at the top, had a clear path if she wanted to try to get her 5th. Gives it up, lets a teammate get in on the action. Under 4 minutes remaining here in an 8-0 Memphis Americans lead. And now here's where the fatigue we talked about with that short bench for Central Florida has shown itself. It was an 8-6 shot advantage after 1 half of play. In the second half, 13-4 advantage for the Americans. And that's going to go wide to the right. Never made it there as Trotter stepped in front of it. Up to Sparks, finds Tadlock. Tadlock's got Crahan in the corner. Crahan can't get to that one. Instead, Tadlock. And they got someone on the back post. Looks like Sparks. Crahan, a whiff there. 2-on-2 opportunity now. To the left side is Rowan Stafford. Got sent wide by Smith. 3 minutes to go. Through traffic, here's the shot, and the shutout is gone as Rowan finds the back of the net.
Jeff, it's a beautiful finish, but the pass that set it all up, threading the needle from distance, was absolutely beautiful. Credit to Central Florida for not giving up. Well taken goal to get on the scoreboard here late in the 4th.
Turns Haley thought, and the angle looked, I think Haley went to the right direction. It looked like the only angle was going to be to her left, but she was just able to wrap it around and get it to her right. Martin slips it through. No one there, I believe Martin thought Vega was going to come down. Rowan Stafford, that's her 16th goal of the season. 2 minutes remaining here at the Lander Center. They'll send it wide to the right on the boards. DePerna cuts to her left. Backside, they get it and they won't. It's Haley, but Medina was creeping up from the right wing. They'll step up here and send it wide to the right of Haley. Kerner off the boards, gets it to Vega, has Martin ahead, has McGirt to her left. Finds Martin. Gets loose, but no one there to catch up with it. Martin trying to plead for a trip. Look, unless something malicious happens here, it's going to be hard to get a call with a 7-goal lead in just over a minute to go. There is Cat, a little push in the back.
All right, exactly 1 minute to go here. Now the question will be, will Memphis keep pushing for a 9th one or just run out the clock? I think they're going to keep pushing because Central Florida's pushing for their 2nd goal.
McGirt, she'll dribble out of trouble. Over to Smith. Sends it right side. They've got Martin on to the left side as Tadlock brings it up. Here's Martin. Martin, one-on-one, slow roller. Tadlock slides and scores.
Beautifully done as Martin with the outside of the boot. Some people love Jennifer. We love Bailey. Little WKRP reference. Memphis strikes for their 9th goal of the night.
Well, Tadlock goes right into the boards, but had just enough of the timing to get the foot on the ball before she goes into the boards that time.
And I'll tell you what, you got that's taking a bit of a risk because I mean, if you slide in too hard, you're going to catch a knee into that board, and that is not fun.
9-1 Americans here, just over 30 seconds remaining. Haley had the deflection off of Sheridan Street's kick. So Memphis is going to move to 8-3-0. They'll stay in first place. Central Florida is going to drop to 7-6-0. So they'll have the kick from the top of the key. Winds up off the hands of Haley. They follow wide to the right. Under 20 seconds remain. Memphis looking basically for one more clear, and that's it right there. Tadlock can take her time, just sends it down to the corner, and we're under 10 seconds. Yeah, Tadlock tries to draw the foul as time expires. They're not going to give that one with an 8-goal lead. Yeah. Well, numbers bear it out, Tim. They were a little bit shorthanded on the bench. Look, you got the best defense in the league. You've given up now just 33 goals in the season. You're the best keeper right now, the defending goalkeeper of the year, and Angel Haley did what you had to do. And again, in the second half is really when Memphis took advantage, really ramped up the pressure, and was able to put a lot of space between them. Once they made it a 4-goal game, you kind of knew at that point that was going to be the game unless you just made some really bad mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Memphis took great care of the ball, but today we saw Corey Adamson's team really give chase when they gave the ball away. And oh, by the way, Molly Martin, an okay game, 4 goals, 2 assists.
It was outstanding. First game, 9-6. Memphis men, they'll close the gap for the men's division. That's pretty much wrapped up. That's the first loss. But still, you had 2 1-goal losses. You give Central Florida men their first loss of the season. You meet again in the playoffs. You got something to build on there for Corey Adamson.
Hey, not a bad day if you're the Memphis Americans.
9-6 for the men, 9-1 for the women. They sweep it here this afternoon. That'll wrap things up. Thanks so much for joining us. For our staff in the production room and all of our camera operators, everyone behind the scenes. For Tim Van Horn, I'm Jeff Brightwell. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. This is the NISL.
Got spiders? For your best choice in pest control, call James Pest Management, 367-2007. Got ants? For your best choice in pest control, call James Pest Management, 367-2007.